Welcome everyone to the PJ's Cast. I'm your host Pierce, joined alongside of my good pal Dylan. For reference point, we are recording at 8:32 p.m. Eastern. We are less than 2 days before the trade deadline. I wanted to say this is a crazy day, but most of the trades have taken hours, and in the case of Tyler Myers, I think a week of him sitting out to figure out the trade. And Blackhawks have made a couple of moves, both with the Oilers, and we now have just found out the details of the trade. The second one, obviously, Connor Murphy got traded, I think, a couple of days ago. I don't know. Oh, the days are getting mixed up, but that's to say, we're going to get into all of this. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the Blackhawks trade, or do you want to talk about some of the other trades that have been happening? All the right-handed defensemen moving.
I think we should start with the Hawks, just because we just got the last piece of that right before we recorded, which was great timing. I was afraid that we were going to have to, break that halfway through. So yeah, let's get the Band-Aid off.
We got it after the podcast recording.
Always. But yeah, fire away. Let's start talking about Kyle Davidson, who came out. What was it, a couple weeks back, or I guess before the Olympics? Kind of, we knew the direction. Like there was a lot of pending free agents, but goes to Edmonton. First, this was, what was it, Monday or Tuesday night? Trades Connor Murphy to Edmonton.
Yeah, it would have been Monday. Yeah,
Monday night trades Connor Murphy to Edmonton for a second round pick. That I feel like that's very tidy business on both sides. I think Murphy actually complements that defense extremely well. I think he's playing with Wallman, so that should be interesting. But I think he complements that defense extremely well. And I think the fact that the Hawks got a second round pick for a guy that I think the fan base would have been pretty content with getting a third for, it's pretty tidy business here, then and there. And, obviously Murphy is a guy that Bowman's traded for in the past. He has a trust in him. I feel like the Hawks they needed to do right by him for the amount that he's gone through with this organization. And I couldn't be happier that he gets to play. Obviously Edmonton's probably not in the spot you would like them to be right now, but
the West is so wide open. Also, on the other flip side of things,
the whole Pacific Division's wide open.
Yeah,
and you're playing with the two best players in the world, so couldn't be happier for him. We just don't talk about how he got traded for a 15-year-old, but that's okay.
Someone born in 2011, or no, 2010. Yeah, either way, born in the 2010s, born in the first Obama administration.
Jump scare. But yeah, and then I guess through the rumor mill, we hear a lot about McCabe and Dickinson. Like, they're strong penalty killers. They were always going to have some trade assets. And I think that's really what the Oilers were targeting right now, as obviously Stan Bowman goes back to the well, gets Jason Dickinson and Colton Dach, who was the piece that we were waiting on, going for Andrew Mangiapane, who I think you and I were already kind of speculating would probably have to go the other way in this trade.
I thought that was going to be part of the first trade. I'm like, maybe could they get a first round pick if they take back Mangiapane's contract and obviously half retain on Murphy. They've used all their retention spots, obviously, for Jones and then now Murphy and Dickinson, but I would say it's well worth it. That's what you use your cap space for, to do just that, leverage it against someone who was desperate to get rid of that contract. And great job by Kyle Davidson to call Stan Bowman before Jarmo Kekalainen could.
Yeah, I did. It's funny. Yarmo's back in the can, and Kyle Davidson says, me first. Thank you. I got a bone to pick with this guy.
We got a trade.
Twice.
Breaking.
Another trade.
Nashville Predators have acquired a 5th-round pick for Nick Blankenburg. He's going to Colorado.
Why are you interrupting for that? Like, that's so not necessary. God, like, what? Congratulations, you got Sam Girard again. Like, what do you want me to do with that information? Like, I don't.
Hey, I think he's right-handed. I'm pretty sure.
So what's next? They're gonna trade. Who are they trading for a 4th? Because they got a 2nd, they got a 3rd, and they got a 5th so far. But no, I wanted to go back to talking about Mangiapane because when we heard that he was going the other way and it was going to probably take more than a 2nd, I think Bob Stouffer mentioned that. And my thought process immediately went to, well, you better get it a 1st, because if you don't get a 1st, I don't think this is even worth your business. They get the 1st. We find out there's an extra player involved. I think you and I immediately was like, I feel like this is Dach. But then, you said Korchinski, and I was like, that might make a little more sense, make it a 1st. No, it ends up being Colton Dach. It ends up being another Stan Bowman draft pick in this case.
Edmonton boy too.
Edmonton boy, gets to play some winning hockey for the first time in his professional career. Very happy for him. But at the end of the day, let's put it this way, in a 10-minute time frame, I was like, well, I don't really know how I feel about this, because I thought they were getting a third for Dickinson too. You're taking Mangiapane's contract on. It's probably a buyout candidate this offseason, and then you get a first-round pick. And I was joking before the show, that's going to be 5 straight years of multiple first-round picks. In this case, they'll probably have, or I guess, depending on how Florida does, they'll have a gap in there, but they'll have 3 the next year.
Or just getting first overall. I've just accepted it. Like, run from it, dread it, destiny arise all the same, or whatever the saying
is. But yeah, like, they just keep reloading capital, and the more you think about the trade, the more it wouldn't make sense for Davidson to trade one of his draft picks this early. I just don't think he's going to do that. Like, I just listened to his interview with Barstool Chief and all of them earlier this week. It sounds like he wants to see what these guys have before he sends them out. And, he makes the point, once you know what you have, that's usually when you can get better assets or get better trades, and more better offers are going to be there once you know what these players are and what their ceiling might be. So, once again, roster spots are opening up for kids. I think I think Ben Pope said today that Sasha Boisvert is probably coming over after his season, even though he's had not as good of a season as he probably would have wanted, but I know he's had a pretty injury-riddled season on top of that. And it never hurts to get a couple games at the end of the year. We saw Ryan Green do that, and definitely benefited him. I mean, he's having I think none of us saw this rookie year coming from him. So plenty of spots open for the kids. The whole back end's basically kids outside of Grzelcyk now. And, what's not going to get talked about this enough is, like, good on guys like Landon Slager, because they made this decision pretty clear for Davidson who he would rather go with. Because, for a while, it didn't look like, it looked like Doc might have found a spot in this roster just off of his physicality, but, clearly he fell out of love with the coaching staff. And, Dickinson and Murphy, I can't thank them enough for their service. Dickinson was here for the worst of it. Had some great moments. Had a 20-goal season. Some hat trick against the Leafs. Oh yeah, a hat trick. I was at that game.
You were there for that.
Leafs. Yeah. It's had some cool moments. So it's gonna stink to see him go. He's been one of the bright spots on a team that hasn't had many. And then Connor Murphy's just been about as stable as can be when healthy. So wish him the best to both of them in Edmonton. I mean, the bottom 6 having Dickinson in that center core is so nice for Edmonton. I think you and I have been banging the drum for a legit 3C forever. And I think Dickinson fits that bill to a T. Both those guys are so good on the penalty kill. So Edmonton's going to...
Oh, that'll help them so much.
I'm curious to see how the Hawks penalty kill actually shapes up after this week, because they're going to lose 3 of their top penalty killers. And, they have the number 1 penalty kill in hockey right now. I don't think that's getting talked about enough. So... good on Edmonton.
Complaining we can do about this franchise. Do they have a damn good penalty kill?
Oh, they got the best penalty kill I've seen them have since like 2015. It's crazy. It's a power kill for whoever plays you. It's pretty awesome. But yeah. So that's really my elongated thought process on those 2 trades. Gonna be honest, if you told me in a vacuum we trade Dickinson, Murphy, and Doc and get a first and a second, probably wouldn't believe you. But this is the buyer's market that everyone's talking about. Like, why is it every year they say it's a seller's market, it's a buyer's market, and every year it's a buyer's market, it's a seller's market? Because in what world is this a seller's market where guys like Michael McCarron are getting second-round picks and Jason Dickinson just got a first-round pick? That's an actual stat that is going to be said now. Keep in mind, we got a second-round pick for taking this guy. Like, for all the things we say about Kyle Davidson, this guy does some pretty decent asset management.
That's a master class of asset
You took on
right
picks
there
for this guy, took a second to take him, and then got a first for getting rid of him. And who knows? Maybe Mangiapane finds a role in this roster. Maybe you flip him next deadline. I think he's a buyout candidate personally, but what do I know? The guy's going to get his look the last 20 games. I'd put him with Bedard for a game or two, see what happens. Burakovsky certainly hasn't earned that spot the last 15 games. Yeah, like for a guy that I haven't been too kind to this season in terms of just some decision making, that's some tidy business. And, I know there's rumors about Foligno to Columbus. I really don't know if they have the cap for that now, but I'd love to see him get a chance with a winner. And McCabe, I think, is the last one that's going to be interesting because you can't retain on him, but he definitely could help any contender out there. I guess, can he get retained on? Because he's getting retained on by Vancouver, which doesn't get talked about enough. He's getting retained on by the Canucks.
I don't know how that will work. Like, I think they'll get him at the cap hit he's at right now, however much Vancouver's retaining on him. But I don't
it's like
think
800 grand
retain on him. Yeah, it's less than $1 million.
But I know they wanted to extend him at one point. We'll see what happens. But I just, if you get another second for him, that's. And we talk about this all the time. Like, they have so much draft capital. Like, now you can actually start using it to go do stuff.
Please.
Put some more ammo in the tank. Screw it. Put some more ammo in the tank. I cannot see a world where the Hawks draft 3 times in the second round this year. I just don't see that happening.
They're going to move
Davidson's.
Up. They're going to be picking 2 times in the first rounds.
Of course they're moving up. They're picking 3 times in the first round because Florida's going to go on a 5-game heater. Like, this is what's going to happen. Matthew Tkachuk's going to find his goal-scoring touch again. He's going to win me the fantasy hockey title, and he's going to get us the 11th overall pick like a true patriot. Just kidding. But yeah, I just, for as much flack as I've given the guy this year, that's about as good of a trade as he's done in a long time. So hats off to Kyle Davidson. He's the big winner today. And what better way to do it than dunking on the old GM of the team twice? I think and for all the, obviously, I think the average hockey fan knows Stan Bowman's probably not the best GM, but God, this is not the most Stan Bowman trade deadline ever. Like, I was texting Jacob about this. It's the most Stan Bowman trade deadline ever. He overpays a first for a player that's not worth a first. This is the Andrew Ladd trade right now. And then he gets a defenseman who's probably past his prime, probably a little bit over the hill, not as offensively inclined as Christian Ehrhoff, but Connor Murphy fits the bill in terms of the draft capital.
Better than Christian Ehrhoff.
No. I'm talking strictly draft capital given up at a deadline. He has done this time and time again. This is the Antoine Vermette Chemo Timonen deadline, like to a T. Hey, that's the deadline that won the Hawks a cup. Maybe Edmonton's losing their shit on that in a good way. Just saying. This is about as Stan Bowman as it gets right here. And sometimes it's that, but that's why I bring up both, because in a 2-year span, you have 2 trades that definitely were getting looked at badly until Vermette started scoring overtime winners in the playoffs, and then no one gives a shit. 2, you did the same thing the next year, lost in the first round, didn't re-sign any of them, and then you lost all your draft capital that year. So there's 2 sides to every coin, but you can't help but at least be happy that they're trying to build around McDavid and help. And I think these are 2 positions that really needed help. Obviously the biggest one Bowman should be fired for, but that's a whole other thing. Holy crap. Like, what is that Tristan Jarry trade? Every day it gets worse, but they needed a 3C. They needed a right-handed shot that could be steady on defense because God knows they don't have it. On paper, they look pretty good right now. Let's see if they can get that first 3-game win streak of the year.
Yeah. They finally catch up to the Blackhawks, get on their level. Yeah, if they can somehow get one more move, whether that's another depth goal-scoring forward or another depth defenseman,
Bobby
honestly.
McMahon?
Yeah, but I think Toronto wants a first, so if you want to get Bobby McMahon, you're probably going to have to trade another first, I would think.
Yeah, well, I've also heard that the Leafs have had 0 trevor in terms of the deadline, even though they're holding
not even
out.
Tire kickings, not even
no tire kickings, no rumblings, no murmurs.
Wow.
But also, like, if they're going to get a first, it's from OEL. Like, we know this, but, takes 2 to tango. I think we know this better than anyone, and credit to Kyle Davidson. He doesn't fit the bill of, I'm only going to trade with 3 GMs. Don't think he's fit that bill in the amount of time he's been here. Stan Bowman definitely does. Kyle Davidson's been added to the boys club, in other words. But, it's nice to see a GM that's not afraid to go outside of his bubble. Twice.
So before I get on my thoughts on the trade, I just want to shout out Connor Murphy. Like, I really want to put into perspective how bad this franchise was and how much of a decline it went on when he got here, but never complained, did his part. was a great role model in the locker room and in the community. I haven't heard anyone say a bad word about him. Yeah, he did get to play some COVID bubble hockey, but now he gets to play some actual hockey in Edmonton. And off the top, we said it's not a guarantee that Edmonton gets there, but on the flip side, that Pacific Division is so wide open. Oilers could do exactly what they did last year, and I would not be surprised in the least. And then because you look over at the Central, you're going to have Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota just murder each other. So if the Oilers can get back to the third round, who knows? Connor Murphy was the longest tenured Chicago athlete, I think, other than Ian Happ. Ian Happ is still that now. Connor Murphy was with the Blackhawks longer than Marian Hossa. That blew my mind. That's crazy. And I'm pretty sure Marian Hossa played his last game before Connor Murphy joined the Hawks. And the day that those trades were made, obviously we've talked about Saad for Panarin many times. We don't need to go back to that. But honestly, Hjalmarsson for Murphy, for as solid as Murphy was for the 8 or I think almost 9 years he was here, I think that was a low-key decent trade for the Hawks. It's just a shame that they couldn't build a better team around Connor Murphy. And again, I'm glad that he gets to go to Edmonton. I believe he waived his no trade clause to go to Edmonton. So that just speaks that players want to go to Edmonton, and good for him that he doesn't have to come here when the winter's at its worst. He'll get to come here in the springtime and hopefully go on a deep playoff run. Hopefully he has his Ron Hainsey moment.
Murphy's career was always one of circumstance here with the Hawks. They traded him for Hjalmarsson, so it was going to be tough for him to win over a lot of the fan base. Yeah. But like you said, he was so good in the community. He was such a good leader on this team. It really makes me mad that they never could find the defensive partner for him like that first 5 years. I get it. Like, the dream was that he would be able to play with Keith, but those two just never meshed. They never meshed their entire time here. And it didn't help that as soon as Murphy got here, Keith started to decline. But at the end of the day, that guy did the most that you asked out of him. He put his body on the line every night. I know that guy blocked probably like 2,000 shots in the time that he was here. It sucks that we, could only get him a bubble playoff series, had a crazy assist in that. So, Oiler fans, you probably have some fun watching some Connor Murphy highlights because he's got a couple snipes and a couple dangles in his repertoire. He's not afraid to take it to the rack every now and then. So, I'm happy for the guy, and I'm happy for Dickinson. That's another guy who's really been bounced around, and he found a home in Chicago, and I know he had started his family here, and, he'll get to go back to Canada, which is cool, but it'll be good to see him get a chance on a winning team too. Because from what I remember, he might have been there for Vancouver in the bubble.
He was with Dallas in the bubble.
Yep, yeah. He was with Dallas. I remember Dickinson's first playoff goal for Dallas. So you're right. Yeah, so he's played some playoff hockey, but he's back and he gets to play in a role that
6 years ago, man. I don't think he's played playoff hockey since.
Yeah, and he's going to be in a role. Exactly. And he'll be in a role that he's never been in, which is you really do not have a lot on your plate besides being the defensive assignment. Like, we're not expecting 20 goals out of you. Like, if this guy gets you 3 goals on a playoff run and plays shutdown minutes and wins draws and plays on the penalty kill, that's such a win for the Oilers. No one cares what that first round pick is. Vice versa. God, I want to know the protection on that first round pick.
It's top 12 protected.
Fuck off. Bowman, why do you have to learn your lesson now? This sucks.
I don't think it's going to matter anyways. I think
I don't care. Like, make it like a top 3 protected so I can laugh.
Or top 5 or top 8, like top.
Well, we know he likes the top 2 protect picks. Fucking asshole.
Like, Connor Murphy was the anti-Seth Jones, and by the way, I think one of the last things Bowman did before lost his job in Chicago for a lot of reasons, he signed Connor Murphy to that 4-year extension, which was a very, I think, like, valuable extension. I think it was 4.4 times 4, and again, that I remember. I think
that deal the moment he signed it.
Yeah. It was great value, and I remember I think it broke on the podcast when you and I were recording. And yeah, it's crazy again. Ago. Like, we talk about it. The last time they played playoffs was 2020 bubble. That was the 2021 off season. It's just crazy how time flies. But yeah, I'm so glad that both of those guys are going to get a chance to play some playoff hockey in Edmonton because they've been great leaders in one of the worst times of this franchise history.
And here's the better things. Just saw Colton Dock's card. He's a 4% for Jay Fresh. That's a tough look. But he
also
hits.
They got another second
round. That in your shorts.
Oh wait, no.
Okay, it's the same second round.
Yeah, so Charlie Romiliotis said, I was just reading that. I'm like, oh, did they get another second round pick? No, that's just including Connor Murphy, Colton Dock, and Jason Dickinson. So yeah, they got a first round pick in 2027, top 12 protected, second round pick 2028, and then Andrew Mangiapane.
Pretty good. Pretty good. See if you can get something out of Mangiapane, make something shake. If not, buy him out. I have no patience for him taking a roster spot from a kid next year. Same with Burakovsky at this point. Really over that experiment too.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the Oilers lines right now. They got Nuge, McDavid, Hyman on the first line. I think that's how they want to go. Second line, they got Savoy and Draisaitl and Roslovic.
Savoy's been turning it up.
Yeah, Savoy has been very good for them. And then I'm looking at the third line right now. Podkolzin, Szymanski, and Frederick. I think Dickinson slots in perfectly. It's Josh Szymanski.
Yeah, who I believe was Jason Dickinson is going to fit like a glove. Don't put him with Trent Frederick.
Well, that's where they have him. They have him on the third line right now, unless you want to swap him with Kasperi Kapanen, Adam Henrique, or Curtis Lazar.
I would totally swap him with Kasperi Kapanen in a heartbeat and make Kasperi Kapanen play the Mikheyev role. Like
I would go Podkolzin, Dickinson, and Kapanen. Like that would not be fun to play against. And I think they could chip in a few goals.
Nuisance of a line. And then put him out there with on the penalty kill. I don't really know who kills penalties for that hockey team.
And then their defensive pairings right now, they got Wallman and Bouchard, but I think I saw a thing that Wallman was practicing with Murphy in practice. So yeah, I think it would be Ekholm, Bouchard, Wallman, Murphy, and then Nurse and Emberson. Just keeping Nurse out of top pairing minutes because that's not going well. And then goaltending, you hope one of Ingram or Jerry turns it on because you're. I think Elliot Freeman said, you made your bet with that. You can't change that now. You can't go back.
No, and it's the worst. I think I was listening to Danglepot and they were arguing it's one of the worst moves he's ever made. It's up there with Panarin and Saad. It's up there. And there's no denying it because at least you could have got down a Skinner in the offseason.
Mm-hmm. You are cheap. Now. And you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
With Skinner, it's the devil you know, and then Jari was the devil you don't know. And I've been I think the Oilers should upgrade how Colorado upgraded their goaltending, but obviously they chose the wrong goalie who was making too much money and was on waivers earlier on in the season, I believe, or last year. I can't remember, but it was on waivers regardless.
Oh, does it end up happening to where they're paying Jack Campbell and Tristan Jarry to not play for the team?
Yep.
Come next season.
Yep.
Yeah. Just why did you strap your rocket here 2 more years, McDavid? You could have literally broken the sport by being a free agent and going wherever the fuck you wanted, and you would have never had to deal with this. But, loyalty in hockey is a thing, and I'm hoping that McDavid just learns. And I hope a lot of these players learn because it's becoming a player's market as it should. Every other sport is. You have every right to make decisions. And I don't want to hear a peep if they miss the playoffs. I don't want to hear a peep if they don't win the cup. Like you said, like Friedman said, you made your bed. You can't complain about it. You chose this team. You chose this mess. Either clean it up or deal with it. I have no sympathy for the Oilers right now and what they're going through. And I'm hoping these moves help. But it's just.
I do too. I want to see a cup come to Edmonton. We'd love to go to a parade. As I've said the last however many years.
The writing's on the wall. The writing's just on the wall. There's no world where Tristan Jarry wins them a Stanley Cup. I'd love to eat my words. I do it all the time. But this guy's never done it. And he's never been close to doing it. And every time that I can think of him in the playoffs, he's done something that is unforgivable.
Didn't he pass the puck? Wasn't it right to Brock
Josh
Nelson?
Bailey.
Or Josh Bailey. Blackhawks legend, by the way.
Exactly. Joining elite company like Mikko Rantanen and Shea Weber.
And Ryan Ellis.
That's what I have to say to that. But yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see the Oilers figure it out. I'm hoping these moves do, but I got to be honest. If I'm an Oilers fan and I'm looking at like what just happened with the Dickinson trade, I'm not feeling too good.
No.
I'm not. No. Like Hawks fan, I'm feeling great. But if we're giving up a first round pick for like, it's one thing if they got OEL, McMahon, and Murphy. And it's just like, okay, well, if we're giving up a lot. Exactly. Like if you're getting legit pieces, but like I'm nothing against Colton Dach and Jason Dickinson, and I love Jason Dickinson, but it's just like, how much does he move the needle on this team? Like unless the penalty kill's that much of a problem, and I'm just like aloof to it. But I don't know. Dan Bowman, maybe you're like we said, maybe it's 2015, maybe you see something we don't, but. You know, I'm going to go with my eyes and the data that we have present. And the data we have present says that this isn't too much of a needle mover, at least to what they probably could have gone for. But I guess it comes down to like what teams want to retain, what teams are open to retaining, what teams are open to taking Mangiapane back. And that's where.
And what teams you want to waive to or like have on his no trade clause. Because that was another thing I was holding up. And I was like, please just go to Chicago. Like, don't cuck us and out of a first round pick.
I mean, he's got to know, like, even if the Hawks do right by him, like, either he's going to get a job here, they're going to let him go in the offseason, he can do wherever he wants, and he'll get his money, or he does well and they flip him and he'll put him on a contender. Like, Kyle Davidson, I don't think is done bad by a player ever. Like,
no, that's another thing you can't fault him for.
Yeah,
well,
like,
yeah.
At least after he forced him out the door, he put him where he wanted to go.
I think he learned from that, honestly. I do think
he did. And I think the Seth Jones trade is a very good example of that. But, sorry, I just thought someone would say another Stan Bowman disaster class.
I mean, there's so much happening on Twitter right now. Like, I'm like trying my best to not look at my phone, but like every time I hear it go off, might there be another blockbuster trade, or might Colton Parayko actually accept his trade to Buffalo? Like,
no, I think they're gonna get to the finish line again, and then they're gonna back out because they don't want to give up the assets. Which also, like, Robert Thomas is never getting traded. Like, I'm so over this conversation. Always bet on nothing. Like it never is going to make sense for them to trade a 26-year-old 85-point center unless they are getting
above $8 million.
Like, I think the only thing I saw that was semi-logical was like I think the report was like if they're going to trade him to Utah, they want Denoye as a starter. And I'm like, yeah, you should. You should want Denoye as a starter because you regardless, like top prospect off the bat. If you want Robert Thomas. And if you don't want to give that up, hanging up the phone. So like all this, I can't give up Michael Hayes for Robert Thomas. Blow it out your ass. Like, oh my God, you guys are so clueless. You guys are so clueless to what a player like that does to not only the roster, but just the locker room. They change
just the rejuvenates that franchise and fan base that wants
you have Suzuki and Thomas for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
In their prime. With Caulfield, with Demidov. Like, Demidov I
was thinking Utah, but that works for Montreal too. Sorry to interrupt.
No, but I just want to make the point because Montreal was like, we can't trade Michael Hayes. And I'm like, you guys are so dumb. Like, it's just like, yeah, Michael Hayes is doing great at Michigan right now. Robert Thomas is a point-a-game player right now. The same year that Cole Caulfield's probably going to get 50 goals. And you can get a playmaking center. But no, I don't want to trade my prospect. Like, sometimes you just got to go for it. And I feel like look at the market and look at the NHL in the last 4 years. All the teams that have made that fuck it, we're going for it move either have won a cup or have been damn close. Dallas, damn close. Vegas, won. Florida, won twice. Sometimes you just got to take a big swing. And you got to credit to the Minnesota Wild. As much as I give that team crap, they're taking the swing. They're taking the swing. They saw the gauntlet ahead and they said, we gotta get more troops. And credit to Bill Guerin. Yeah, may not agree with the Michael McCarron trade, but that guy went and got Quinn fucking Hughes because he knew it was an arms race. That's called taking a swing. And I look at a team like Montreal who's so young. I look at a team like Utah who, oh my God, if you add a 2C like Thomas to that roster after getting weaker without giving up a first, mind you, like we need to get into that eventually.
There's so much to get into. Yeah.
It changes your team overnight. In Buffalo's case, you would have the ability to just run 4 deep at center in a way that a team can't do. Plain and simple. Like you could put Yuri Kulik at 4C in that universe.
Insane.
But no, they like and Buffalo, at least I somewhat understand. Like if Owen Power's the breaking point, yeah, I'd probably back off that because there's no reason to take away from a strength. Montreal, if it prospects really what's holding that back, shame on you. Shame on you, Jeff Gordon. After the Dobson trade, like after showing that you're capable of taking that swing, and with the way the team's playing, like Steve Yzerman, if you don't make a move this off in these next 48 hours, you are such a fraud and you need to be fired.
Fraud.
No, you need to be fired. Like, I'm so serious. Like, your team is now showing you all the work you've done the last 5 years. And if you don't reward them with getting a center, it's a crime. It's a crime. Maybe Steven Stamkos should finally go to Detroit.
10 years later.
10 years in the making. But,
oh my God. Shea Weber, Ryan Ellis being traded, and now Stamkos being moved. Welcome back, 2016. That's crazy.
Back like we never fucking left. Oh my God. But yeah. So like with with like Buffalo trying to get a trade to the finish line, I really hope they do. Like, no fan base deserves it more. And good on Jarmo Kekalainen for realizing, hey, this is the first time his team's even got a crack and they're white hot and arguably the hottest team in the league. Let's go take a swing. But also, I understand not wanting to give up Owen Power for Robert Thomas. Now, Colton Parayko for Merkta in a first, if that's really what it is, I think that's tidy business from Buffalo. And I know Merkta's like 6'8". Like, I know that's really what they want, but like Colton Parayko compliments Rasmus Dahlin very well. Or Owen Power.
Or whoever on the left side.
Bowen Byron. Like,
yeah.
You'll just have 6 horses back there. And it allows your forward core to do what they've done all year, which is just roll 4 lines and be just dominant offensively. So I'm hoping it works out for Buffalo, but, we woke up this morning to them being, well, we go to the finish line, but we couldn't get the trade done, even though we're all announcing it way too early. Also, announcers suck. Or not announcers. Analysts suck. Insiders suck. Why are we announcing trades before?
We've been saying this.
We've been saying this, but it's a whole new level now. Like, why are we announcing trades before the no move is even accepted? Like, that's poor journalism. Plain and simple.
Awful. Brutal.
Whatever. Journalism's a lost art anyway. We talked about this a couple nights ago, but that's besides the point.
Okay, but does Adam Schefter do that where, this player might waive their clause to go this team?
No, he just drops a nuke.
This is the trade.
He just drops a nuke. He drops a nuke, and then occasionally we don't know the contract yet. That's really all it is. Stupid, silly league. And they don't speculate like this league does. Like, they don't just drop it, like you said, they don't just drop it in the ether. And
I wonder.
Yeah. My favorite lately is Freeman just announces the trade a minute late and goes, sources. Like, motherfucker, like, we all have tweet notifications on. We know who your sources are. Like, Dreger's pantsing all of you, and even then, he's still blowing it out his ass because he's lying half the time.
I mean, that should say it all right there.
God. Absolute toilet bowl. Couldn't have it worse. But, yeah, so what trade do we want to talk about next?
We need the Bob father back.
Yeah, nothing's been the same.
No, it really hasn't. I'm still like just kind of going to wrap up the Oilers. Like, in a vacuum, I don't think like those are great trades that I think that could help them out. It's just the 10 plus years of bad moves that have caught up to him, and that includes Bowman having to move on from Mangiapane, who he signed last summer, and it did not work out at all. The goaltending, like, I saw a tweet, what did the Oilers team need back in 2015? Defenseman and goaltending. What do they need now? Defenseman and goaltending. Well, I think Connor Murphy helps out a lot with that. I think he could be a great number 4 defenseman for them. I think he could get away with playing him in that role. and then Jason Dickinson's your 3C. But yeah, it's always going to be that damn goaltending. The Oilers have the number one power play in the NHL. That should not be a surprise. It is at I had it pulled up, but it's at like 32 or 33%. And then their penalty kill is at the bottom. Like, I think, again, I had it pulled up, but it's like, it was like 76 or 77%. Not good. And I think Jason Dickinson and Connor Murphy will help that out a lot.
Yeah. And if they don't, then if you start pointing fingers at a 40 and a 3C to fix your team, I think there's bigger problems at hand than that. And we already know there's bigger problems at hand than that, like you mentioned. So, yeah. We just have to see how it plays out now. Do they play tonight?
How many teams are playing tonight? So the Red Wings are beating the Golden Knights right now 3-1. That's an interesting team. Leafs and Devils are tied 2-2, and Oilers do not play tonight.
Sad.
By the way, the Blackhawks have the number one penalty kill in the NHL, 85.9%. Next closest is the Penguins at 84.6%.
So stupid.
The Oilers have a 76. Yeah, I know. And the Oilers have a 76.7% penalty kill, but their power play is 32.
Yeah, I wonder why they picked up Murphy and Dickinson.
Did you see the like? It's I need to pull up the stat. It was something ridiculous. Obviously, McDavid and Draisaitl are tearing up, and so now is Bouchard. Imagine if you had a defenseman like that for your team at the Olympics. But they are like 500 with them producing that well. Again, it just goes back to they haven't won more than 2 games in a row this season. They haven't won 3 in a row this season. It's just incredible how inconsistent they are and how much they're lacking in depth when their top players are being their top players. And they can't get it done. They can't win games.
Like Bouchard's going to get like 90 points in his sleep, and it's doesn't matter. He should. Like, he won't win it, but he should.
Yeah.
Zach Werenski should get it this year, but it'll probably be Quinn Hughes.
Oh, yeah, or Mort Seider should be in there too. But yeah, that's
I mean, look at the defenseman crop this year. It's nuts.
It's crazy this year. Yeah.
Like any other year, Jacob Chikrin probably gets votes, and he's not even in the top 5.
Oh, there's another guy Canada could have used.
Yeah. Not that mention the guy that's going to win the Calder Trophy.
Could have brought Bedard. Could have brought Ryan Green. At least he knows how to snipe on Hellebuck. Anyways.
Ryan Green, Macklin Celebrini. I don't know who's better.
All right, so there is other trades to talk about. Do you have anything else to touch on those Oilers Blackhawks trade? Do we really want to talk much about the Blackhawks, or we just want to move on to the other trades? Like, is there any other?
I want to say one stat. Because I'm going to be honest. I don't think the Blackhawks have played bad since coming back from the Olympic play, but I think one stat has been daunting. There have been 9 games this year where they have blown a lead in the last 5 minutes and have lost in overtime or in regulation. Literally, if you win half of those, you're in a playoff spot. So
I think they're in Sharks
for all the bitching we do.
The narrative's different.
Yeah, we're all the bitching we do. Like, maybe getting Frondell and Kantorov really is what can put this team a little bit more over the edge. Like, just a little bit more punch in the offense. Because holy smokes, if you can get 3 goals, Spencer Knight's probably going to win you the hockey game most of the time. So just figure it out. And I'm so serious. Like, it's 9 games. Like, if you win half of those, you're in a way better position than you are. And we're not having half of the conversations we're having. Granted, like you said earlier, the ball might roll better this way, and then we get a top 3 pick, and then when you get one of the studs, and then you're never looking back. But I think it does show how close this team is. I do think it shows how close this team is. Power play looks so much better coming out of the Olympics. Their zone entries are better. They're moving. They're not so stationary on the power play, which annoys the hell out of me. And I think they've had a goal in every game. So special teams, I got to give Blashill credit. Also, they have 5 shutouts now, which is nuts because I don't think they had 5 in the last 7 years. So
shout out to Soderblom in his first career NHL shutout.
Yeah, it took a long time, but well deserved. There's been a lot of games where that guy's only let up 1 or 2 goals. But yeah, and Bedard still looks as great as ever. Looks like he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Looks like he's playing like a guy who got left off the team, and that only benefits us. So that's very
Thank you,
exciting.
Doug Armstrong.
Also, Sam Renzel looks very good. I think Sam, like, I know it was sick for a couple games, but Blashill's trusting him with the minutes again. He's playing over 20 minutes a night, especially last game after Murphy was out. And I'm very excited to see him down the stretch as well. Now I'm just praying Djurgården season ends because I am ready for Frondell on this hockey team. I'm so ready for it.
Somehow, some way that Metallurg Magnitogorsk just loses the rest of their games. So that way Roman Kanserov can come over as well.
Oh, shout out Roman Kanserov too. Broke the record. Most points in the KHL under 21 years old. I think it's 61. And he has 33 goals. Broke the record there as well. I mean, it's so hard to temper your expectations for these two guys when you just see what they're doing overseas, especially Kanserov. Like, he's just – we've seen what people do when they score at this high – exactly. And he's playing number one center on a team. And I'm just pointing out the obvious. Like, 21-year-olds who score at that rate in the KHL usually translate relatively well to the NHL. Not going to say he's going to be like a point-a-game player, but I'm finding it really hard to imagine this guy's not at least a 40-point guy when he gets here, maybe 50. And if we're being honest, I think he's probably a 60-point guy, just because I think I'm watching some of the goals this guy gets. Like, you're telling me we can have a power play where the two net front presences are Bertuzzi and Kanserov.
He's a bulldog, man. I mean, he's small, but he gets to the net, and that's what this team.
And I feel he's going to complement Bedard or Nazar so well. Like, it's going to be nice to know the top six is Frondell, Bedard, Bertuzzi, let's say, and then Teravainen and Nazar, Kanserov, and then let's say your third line's Lardis, Moore, and Green. Like, that is just fuck it. We'll run a year with that as the top nine, and maybe we swap, Green for Donato, and then Green's on the fourth line with Slaggert and some shit. Like, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm just like, okay, I'd like to see a year with just the kids. And then if this isn't the answer, then yeah, let's go big game hunting. But I don't know, man. I'm just ready to see the kids. I'm ready to see the kids. I'm ready to see the fucking kids. Because we've seen some of our good prospects. Like, I think Renzel is the best of the bunch that we've seen in terms of potential, outside of Bedard, obviously. But we haven't seen the big hitters that Davidson's drafted yet. I guess Levchinov too. But Levchinov we always knew was so raw. Yeah. He's so raw, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, we always knew he was going to be like that. Like, I feel like you're going to get Frondell or Kanserov here, and one or both is going to be pretty polished. So, it'll be nice. Like, if it's two top nine forwards, you couldn't ask for more. And then we can blast Burakovsky into the sun like Team Rocket. It'll be great.
I don't think they're going to buy him out. Here's what I think they're going to do. I think Scott Powers either put in his article or he said it on the podcast. They're just going to Andreas Athanasiou him. Like, if he's not doing well, they're going to send him to Rockford. That's what they're going to do. I will
give Davidson props. He's not afraid to do that. Like, if you're not producing, you're not on the team. It's that simple. You're right. No, and as you should. Like, if Burakovsky's your extra next year, I don't think that's a bad spot to be in. I just think, I guess they can afford it, but there's no reason this guy should be taking a top 6 spot next year. Even if they don't make an upgrade, even if it's just kids coming up, you shouldn't be taking a spot from Kanserov. You should not be taking a spot from Frondell. You should not be taking a spot from Lardis. You should not be taking a spot from Moore or Green. It's that simple.
Yep, agreed. I also have this pulled up, and you were kind of mentioning earlier, this team cannot close games out. It helps if they could get an extra goal, because
of course,
winning 2-1 against Winnipeg, and it's hard to score 3 goals against Connor Hellebuyck, but you just simply need more offense. So this is from Scott Powers' article. Since Connor Bedard returned from injury on January 9th, they've gone 5-10-3. Of those 18 games, they've gone 4-0-1 when they've scored 3 or more goals, and 1-10-2 when they've scored fewer than 3. So yeah, that's the magic number. It's not going to be solved this season, but for next year, hopefully the youth helps inject more goals into this lineup.
And I think they will.
Bedard's going to take a step, And there's so much doom and gloom on Twitter. And again, that's more reason for me to just get off, because it's no longer a place of discussion. It's just, oh, I am miserable about it's doom and gloom. Yeah. And you cannot change my mind about it, because so many fans, because I remember last year when Renzel came in, Lev Shunov was up for a bit, and Nazar was really taking off. I remember people saying Nazar was better than Bedard. And at the beginning of the year, people were saying, oh, this team is no longer going to be a lottery team. And the same people are now doom and gloom. Oh, Lev Shunov sucks. He's a bust, even though he's 20 years old. Frank Nazar, he's a bust. Like, even though people are complaining about that contract, even though he's still on his ELC. Like, it's just,
I don't care enough to entertain.
They're going to go through it.
Yeah, I just don't care enough to entertain those conversations. Like we were talking about this before. Like, there's not going to be a stretch where Nazar goes 25 games out of the goal next year. Like, I just don't see that happening. Like, it's just not going to fucking happen. And, even if not everyone takes a step, someone's going to take a step. It's like this year it was Ryan Green. This year it was Wyatt Kaiser. This year it was Louis Crevier. Like, next year, maybe it's Oliver Moore. Next year, maybe Frank Nazar is a 50-point player. Like, those little things add up over time. And, like, I don't know. I look at a world where you can see this Hawks roster, and, Bedard might have, 90, 95 points if he plays the full year, but, they might have, 6 or 7 guys that are rocking with, 40, 50 points. And if that's the case, you're probably in a good spot with your goaltending situation and the way this defense plays when they're at their best. So there's room there. And if you get a McKenna, or if you get a Stenberg, or if you get a Veerhoff, that just adds another element to this roster. So, I don't know. I'm just trying to be glass half full right now, because I'm really getting tired of being glass half empty.
Oh, me too. Like, you and I a lot of the times I almost do it jokingly, I feed into that negativity, Pierce. But I never is it pessimist Pierce or positive Pierce today? But yeah, it's so exhausting just seeing there's no debate about it. It's just, oh, this player has not been good recently and now they suck. Whereas earlier on in the year, people were saying, well, this is no longer a lottery team. We might be able to make the playoffs. And then last year, people were saying that Frank Nazar was better than Connor Bedard because Bedard was having a down year. I've always wanted to be level-headed. I've never wanted to get too high or too low. This is a long process. We need to allow these young players to go through their ups and downs. I don't think Bedard's going to go through that, but just about everyone else's. It takes time. If we're going to be calling people busts at 20 and 21, then what's the point of even following the Hawks?
It's been absolute doom and gloom lately. And it's been that way for about 5 years. The first couple of years.
I get it. I really do get it, because
it's very valid.
We've got a decade with almost regular playoff hockey. I totally get it. If the previous regime didn't spin its tire in the mud for 5 years, I feel like if they did what the Rangers did, I think back in 2018, and just sold off, things might be better, but then you don't have Bedard. We are where we are now. You can't change it. The Demidov, Lev Shunov stuff, we can't do anything about that now. What they have is what they have, and I'm rooting for these prospects to succeed. And yeah, not all of them are going to hit their ceiling, but the whole point of this was to get all these draft picks, and you get enough first-round picks, you're going to hit on some of them. Some of them are not going to hit. I don't know what you think about Kevin Korchinski, but I feel it's another kind of Adam Boqvist, Lucas Reichel situation where maybe he does go somewhere else and be fine. Maybe he could be that Nick Leddy defenseman, but he's clearly not going to be what they thought they originally thought he was going to be when he was drafted 7th overall in 2022.
I think the best way to describe it is the 2022 draft, like you said, because the goal of this whole rebuild, and I think Kyle Davidson mentioned this in his interview earlier this week, you want to have as many shots at the dartboard as possible, because you don't
as you can.
Exactly, because you don't want all your eggs in one basket. Well, we can say as many analogies as we want, but but the point is, it's just that draft. Korchinski was what, 6, 7?
7, 6, 7.
7. Thank you.
You're welcome.
7th overall. Nazar was 13th or 12th, and then 13th. Renzel was 25th.
25th. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at that draft in a vacuum, they probably got 2 good players out of that. That's pretty good hit rate. It's pretty good hit rate.
You know Ryan Green at the end of the second round, and look what he's done. That's a great pick.
Yeah, that was a really good pick, considering Lewinsky was the first one.
And that's going to happen sometimes. You're going to get those picks.
Yeah, and you look at a draft like that, 3 out of the 6 top picks you probably hit on and got NHL players. Now, if I were to tell you in 2022 they're going to 25, probably looks like that he's going to be at least the most useful. Frank Nazar obviously could be that 2C. I just think, Sam Rinzel being a right-handed shot, that could lead to a lot of very good things if he's this good of a minute eater. Yes, sir. Exactly. Now, if you flip Rinzel and Korchinski's draft spots, people probably look at that draft as an incredible draft. That's just the reality. But and that's fine. That's why you take the shots. But then you can have a draft like 2023 where it looks like you might have 5 NHL players. That's the reality right now, because it's Bedard, it's Moore, who are both already in the NHL. Nick Lardis has already cracked the NHL. Roman Kantarov is definitely going to crack the NHL. And who am I missing? I'm missing one more. Or is that it?
Did you say Frondell?
Well, yeah, Frondell, but I'm talking 2023 draft. I think it's just them. But
yeah, Lardis, Kantarov, Moore, Bedard, and you could throw Adam Guyon in there if you want.
But the point is, if you do that 3-4 years in a row, you're going to build an NHL roster, or at least going to have the makings of one. So I'm very excited to see where this team looks at the end of this year, because I think you'll have Frondell. I think you'll have Boisvert. You're going to have Korchinski and Rinzel and Del Mastro interchanging. I think Del Mastro getting back up is huge because he deserves a lot of ice time. He's been playing very good minutes in Rockford. And then you get to have a really fun training camp with a lot of these prospects ready to, take their kick at the can. And you're going to have roster spots available for the taking, hopefully. So competition is going to be bred very highly. And I think this is going to be a 12-month period that's going to be very fun for Hawks fans just to see maybe where they're at in terms of some of their bigger prospects. Because, as much as we could say the kids were up this year, it really was Oliver Moore, Sam Rinzel, and Ryan Green. It's 3 guys, and if we're being 100% honest, they're not the game changers of this rebuild. They're not supposed to be. And Artem Levshunov. Artem Levshunov is a game changer, but at the same time,
he needs to be.
This isn't the year he's going to be a game changer. I think we're going to start seeing guys come in and be immediate game changers in the next couple of years. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's just going to be a lot of fun. And then on top of that, you're going to have a 21-year-old phenom. So, oh no. What a terrible spot to be in, and a 24-year-old franchise goalie. Be in worse spots. That's really all I'm trying to make the point of. And I think I always make that point with the Hawks after dooming about them for 20 minutes. It's just, it could be so much worse. 20 minutes as it's 52 minutes into the fucking recording. But
yeah, got a lot out of this, but I think that's usually how our podcasts go. We'll kind of start off negative about the Hawks, and then we'll talk about it. We're like, oh, it's not bad. And then we go on and talk about other teams. And there's at least a quarter, maybe even a third of the league whose fans wish that their ownership could give a GM this much patience to see out a rebuild. Sometimes it's to our chagrin that Kyle Davidson is so patient and he has not taken any shortcuts. Well, say what you want about him, but he has stuck to his word.
Yeah, and he's sticking to his plan. He's sticking to his process, which he said has always been a big thing. One thing I want to point out, going back to the Dickinson trade, is due to that pick being protected, the Sharks pick they got for Wallman is now unprotected. So the Sharks could be sitting there with pick 10 and pick 14 this offseason if things go poorly. And you better believe they're going to be sniffing around one of those big guns. I mean, they just locked up Sherwood today. That's another thing that happened today. It's been a busy day for the NHL. But
it has, yeah.
Keep an eye on the Sharks, man. Keep an eye on the Sharks. And they need defense. So
Adam Fox.
Yep. I was just going to throw it in the ether.
Sorry, Connor, but
no, and they have the guns to go get it. And you're telling me the Rangers are going to look at you with a straight face if you offer 10, 14, and then Quentin Musty.
And McCool, you'll probably have to add
let's say it's those 4.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take that if you're the Rangers. And let's say you have pick 2 if you're the Rangers. You're going to get Stenberg. You're going to get 2 more studs. You're going to get Quentin Musty. And then you're going to get Mook Madulin to throw on the back end. Yeah, you're going to lose Adam Fox, but you are going to completely vault this rebuild.
You're never
on
going
top
to
of
win
having
an
a top
Adam
3
Fox
pick.
trade.
No, you're never going to win an Adam Fox trade. You're never going to win a Quinn Hughes trade.
Pipeline. Yeah.
Exactly. The point is you're not to win the Adam Fox trade. The point is to commit to a direction, which is what they're trying to do. And for the Sharks, holy shit, if they got Adam Fox, that team is I'm not going to say instant cup contender just because, or an instant playoff team, but
they're definitely a playoff team, absolutely. Especially
if Askarov can find that consistency and they get a backup, yeah, they're a playoff team. Because goaltending is still a concern with the Sharks. It always will be. But fuck, man.
I think just that back end in general. But Celebrini's on a whole other level right now. He's getting hard votes. Like, he's going to be in the top 3.
As he should. He probably is going to finish top 3, Ted Lindsay. And I would argue he's earned every bit of that. He's been on fire. I think he just passed 30 goals. Kid, I think, has found another gear in his speed. Like, he just gets better every game. It's crazy. And I'd argue the same for Bedard right now. I mean, the guy, like the 4-0 win, he probably could have had 3 goals. He has 4. He's had so many breakaways and so many speed bursts these last couple games. Like, I love to see the charts of, like, his clock times for speed, because he's had to have hit over. Yeah, he's been phenomenal. It's just the league's in such good hands. And then Matthew Schaefer, don't even get me started. He's fucking incredible.
20 goals as a defenseman, man. Do I look like a fucking idiot for being skeptical that he would go first overall? Like,
I think everyone was.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I don't think anyone could expect this. The most optimistic of Islanders fans or Schaefer truthers, whatever.
God, he's been phenomenal. And to be the first. Yeah. In talks about what is it, Connor Garland, who's would be getting on a 6-year extension, which is kind of crazy. Just shows where Vancouver's at, but
it's worked out before getting a Ford from Vancouver. Horvat
definitely has. Interesting. Garland and Barzal just seems like demon time.
I think that's a great way to transition, because the NHL, I do want to touch more on the Blackhawks, but we'll save that for another time, because there's so much to talk about. There's so many trades that happen. There's so many trades that could happen. Again, we're less than 48 hours until the deadline. I feel I say it every year that the NHL is so wide open, but I think especially this year, it is so wide open. I can't remember if I was texting you this or we were talking about it on Xbox or whatever. I asked you, who do you think is a legit contender in the NHL right now? Because I have no idea. Maybe a handful of teams, but I just think there's so many teams right now that can make a couple of trades at the deadline and maybe not win a cup, but go like win a round. Like I did again, like we brought up the Islanders. I don't think many people thought the Islanders would make the playoffs. Maybe they would have been competitive, but maybe not for a playoff spot. How many people would have predicted the Sabres are going to do what they're going to do, and they're looking to make big moves? So yeah, I think this next like day and a half or whatever before the deadline is going to be interesting. I want to see these teams who have kind of been on the bubble, Utah, another team included, like who's going to be the team that steps up and really gives them a chance in a wide open NHL. I would put Detroit in that as well. Who needs to make a move?
Some of these teams need to pick a side on the line. They need to stop walking the tightrope. So, a lot of teams that are very prone to staying pat, you would like to see them make a change. Like, I mean, how can you not reward, like you said, how can you not reward Detroit for what they're doing? I just think it's been
a decade without the playoffs there. They got it. You got to do something, man.
You gotta.
And Buffalo, it's been 15 years.
Yeah, Buffalo, there's no excuse. You got to buy. Seattle's begging to buy, because they want to get better. And the fact that Panarin declined $14.5 million times 4, I think speaks volumes.
And has gone to a Kings team that's not in the playoffs. Hey, guess how many more wins the Kings have than the Hawks right now?
This is 2.
It's only 1.
Oh man, this is what we're talking about. Like we do them about the Hawks, and we're like, oh, it could be worse. And then the first team we talk about, we're just like, holy shit, it's so much worse. And DJ Smith's their head coach, and Quentin Byfield still has stagnated development.
Did you hear the interview? Sorry to interrupt, but did you hear that interview where they were talking to DJ Smith, and I think they were talking about last year in the playoffs, and it's like, do you think your guys have recovered from that loss against Edmonton? And he was like, no, I don't think they have. Like, that should tell you everything right there.
Mentally frail.
And they might not even make the playoffs.
No, and they have the easiest, I guess, get out of jail free card, but not really. Like, Kevin Fiala broke his leg, but like, this team was never built to get out of the first round, and they never were. And the offseason moves they made no sense. Like, we talked about this at the time.
Ryan Dumoulin and Cody Ceci.
And Corey Perry at 40 years old is going to fix things.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be the Kopitar retirement tour. Like, this is what it was. And, he got injured. That is what it is. But can't help but think this is just an absolute colossal failure of a season. And it falls at the feet of Ken Holland. You should have fired Hiller either earlier in the season when you fired Rob Blake, or in the offseason when you knew that there was a ceiling on this.
After that Oilers series.
Yes. But you were up 2-1 in the fucking series. Like, even with the way the game went, you could have won that series. You had 4 more games in that series to win it. What did you do? You lost all of them. It's just poor. It's a poor coaching job. It's poor roster construction. It's funny. Hindsight's always 20/20 on stuff like this, but you just remember back 5 years ago, and it's the Kings and it's the Rangers, and both those teams were starting a rebuild, and they kicked it off just a little bit too fast, and look what's happened. And, it wasn't too long ago when LA had one of the deepest prospect pools in the league. Who has been a prospect that has panned out, that has been elite out of that prospect pool? And I love Quentin Byfield, but it's just the reality of the situation right now.
Maybe Brian Clark, but he took a while. I think that's more of a coaching thing, but
yeah. But like, Turcotte is a bust by definition. He's 5th overall, and he's a 4th.
So I would love the Hawks to trade for him still.
Oh, duh.
Take a chance out of.
But I don't know, man. Like, I just think there's got to be questions about their development. Kaliev busted out there, too. I just think a lot of poor decisions have put them where they are right now. And I know those decisions were made to try to win. But the fact that the Blackhawks have won a series before the Kings have last
more recently
is concerning, because the Blackhawks have not only tried to retool, but have also done a full-blown rebuild in that amount of time. I don't know. I think it just shows why sports are so crazy, because you can have it seem so crystal clear what the direction is, right? You have your contenders, you have your teams at the bottom, and then there's just this mush of like 12 teams where you just don't know what they're doing. And like in football, for the longest time, the Bears fell in this mesh where it's just like, teams like the Wild fall in here, Columbus falls in here, all these teams where you just look at them and you're like, are you going to pick a direction? Calgary, up until this year, is a perfect example. Like, it's just, we just talked about it. Walking the line. Pick a lane, go rebuild, go contend. This isn't rocket science, guys. And the fact that it took a team like Calgary this long to figure that out is ridiculous. The fact that LA still hasn't figured this out is very concerning. And what's crazy is I think they won the Phillip Danault trade in hindsight, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like, do you remember Phillip Danault getting traded to Montreal? Like, that happened.
Actually.
Yeah, and I think he has like one
the average person does.
No, and that's the point, because LA has been so relevant. Like, there was a time where I was very impressed with a lot of the moves they made, like bringing in Trevor Moore, trading Sean Jersey just to trade him out. Like, it was just, they did a lot of things that were interesting at the time, and you would just look at the way the roster was aging, and you're like, okay, maybe these pieces are going to come in and fix it. Like, Kopitar's getting older, Doughty's getting older. These pieces never really came, or they just hit their ceiling at their ceiling wasn't as high as you thought. Like, Mikey Anderson, he's a very sturdy top 4 defenseman, but they locked that guy up for 8 years. Like, there's just a lot of decisions that are questionable in LA right now. And I don't see that getting fixed anytime soon. And unfortunately, Darcy Kemper's a really good goaltender, so they're probably not going to be able to bottom out anytime soon.
No.
Not with Panarin there for the next couple of years.
That too.
He's too good to let you bottom out. It's definitely concerning. Like, did not know they only had one more win than the Hawks.
Elon Musk concerning.
That's funny.
Name of the podcast. Yeah, I think in particular, I've been their management of their defense has been suboptimal. Like, I get the trade Faber, and I think it was a first-round pick for Kevin Fiala. I've always been a Kevin Fiala truther, and please, if the Kings ever decide to blow it up, that would be a guy I would love to bring to Chicago. But you just can't help but think, what if they did keep a Brock Faber in Los Angeles, and then you get Faber and Brandt Clarke to take over Doughty for your right side, and they traded Faber. Yeah, you got Kevin Fiala, but you still have Clark. You could have kept Jordan Spence, who is now doing, I think he's playing in a sheltered role in Ottawa, just as he was in LA. So, but I think that's another guy they could have kept. But the coaching does not trust someone like Jordan Spence, and you got rid of Jordan Spence, and you kept the coach who didn't want to play him, and then you fired him. So, yeah.
Well, it looks like Ottawa doesn't want Jordan Spence either. So I just don't know what the hell is going on there.
Yeah.
So
I think that's just hockeymen being hockeymen, because from everything I see whenever he plays, like, the analytics are good and he produces. I think that's just
NHL short.
Yeah, he's not 6'6" like Michael McCarron.
Every time he steps on the goddamn ice, you just can't teach that.
Unless, you get that surgery where, like, you can grow 2 or 3 inches or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they should try that. Let's go, man. I didn't think we'd be talking much about the Kings, but yeah, they're in a really they're not in a great spot right now, especially in that mid-Pacific division. Like, the Central, we brought it up earlier. Colorado has 41 wins in 60 games. Dallas has 38 wins in 61 games, and the Wild have 36 in 62 games. There's clearly an arm race there. Well, then you look at the Pacific. The team that's leading the Pacific has more losses than wins. So they have 28 wins in 61 games. The Ducks, man, yeah, I know. They're not that good. The Ducks, I think, is another team you could throw in there that should go for it. Yeah, 33 wins in 60 games. And the Oilers
But, what do they need? Like, sorry, just to talk about the Ducks for a second. Like, I think the way their roster is built, you got to just let this one ride, because I
guess so.
I don't know who you plug out of the lineup. I really like their top 6 right now. Their top 6 is so good.
I'm just thinking, like, man, what if they just trade some of their prospects and got Robert Thomas and just load it up or something? Because they could do that. They have the depth in their prospect pool.
No, that would be interesting. Because, like, they're really deep at center too. Like, you're telling me you could? I guess you would move Thomas to the wing, because then you would do like.
They can do whatever.
There's no way you run McTavish at 3C. I guess that's just what, like, that's
you could.
It's bonkers if you even have that, but shit, yeah, that didn't even cross my mind. That'd be interesting. Patrick Allvin, do something no one's expecting. It's your favorite thing to do.
Like, I'm looking at their lines right now. Kreider, Carlson, Gauthier, disgusting.
Gross.
Their second line, Kaloran, McTavish, Seneca. Seneca's freaking awesome for them. Third line is Vetrano, Paling, Strome, and then fourth line, Ross, the Boss Johnston. I've never heard of these 2 players, Tim Walsh and Jeffrey Veal. Like, yeah, I think they could add another forward in there.
Yeah, you can get a bottom 6 forward. You're right. I was thinking more of like a big addition, because I was like, man, that top 6 is so good, I wouldn't touch that. Like, now that I've seen the bottom 6, yeah, go add a third or a fourth liner. Like, okay, Ilya Mikheyev wouldn't look too bad there, but that's not the point. And then their back end is loaded. Like, your left side is just 3 young horses, and then your right side is Trouba, who's having his best year of his career. That is not getting talked about enough.
Yeah,
0.5 point a game, best defensive metrics he's ever had. Radko Gudas always somehow is a defensive darling analytically, and the captain. And who else am I missing on that right side? There's one more.
And number 1 Canadian enemy for the Olympics.
It's Ian Moore. Yeah, it's Ian Moore, who is Joe Quenneville's new college sweetheart. He always finds one. This might be the new Gustav Forsling, ladies and gentlemen. We have to keep tabs. His defensive analytics are a little bonkers. But yeah, like Anaheim looks so good. I love Dostal in that. I think Mrazek's the backup. I don't mind that at all either. Like you said,
I think
let's add him
for the
bottoms.
rest of the year. I think it's Husso and Dostal.
Is it Husso? Okay, maybe get a backup goalie then. I don't really like Husso. But yeah, like you said, bottom 6 forward definitely should be on the table for Anaheim right now. Go reward that team. And it's kind of bullshit that they're getting cucked because of the loser point. I really think that's stupid.
There's so many teams that are getting cucked because of the loser point. I hate it. Also, Granlund is on IR, and Ryan Strome and Troy Terry are day-to-day, so that might...
I was wondering where Troy Terry was in that lineup. I was like, shouldn't Terry be on the second line? Yeah, so they really don't... This is what I was saying, like, okay, maybe they need one more forward, but when they're healthy, they can roll top 9.
You know they could use?
No one can really compete
Nick Waugh. Nick Waugh would fit perfect. I think he would fit on every playoff team, but...
Nick Waugh was like Ryan... Put Nick Waugh on your fourth line. Like, just... With Ross the Boss Johnston.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Get excited. Maybe go get, like, I don't know, Ryan Reeves back from the dead. Inject him with Super Soldier Serum. See what happens. No, get Brett Leeson.
Brett Leeson. Prince Albert Raiders legend Brett Leeson.
Goat. Blackhawk killer.
And yeah, Edmonton somehow has 30 wins in 62 games, even though they have not won 3 in a row yet. And in the wild card, we got Utah, who was going for it, and I love to see that. I would love to see them pull off a Robert Thomas. Actually, no, I don't want him to get Robert Thomas. I want Robert Thomas out of the division, out of the conference, and then somehow, some way, the Seattle Kraken are in a playoff spot. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers, bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The Pacific sucks. Like, I have no mental capacity to go through the Pacific right now because it's really just, if I had my way, I would have the Ducks, the Sharks, and I guess if the Oilers can get there, it's ridiculous that Vegas is even in this situation right now. Vegas has way too much talent to suck this much. And guess what they're doing? They're sucking this much, and they have way too much talent, and I don't think it's getting talked about enough how bad they've been since they've gotten Rasmus Anderson, but that's a whole nother discussion. I don't think he's extended yet, but I wouldn't imagine this guy's going to extend here with the way it's going. And we talked about it before the season with Vegas, man. Like, Alex Pietrangelo losing him is so much bigger of a loss than people talked about. Like, yeah, they got Mitch Marner. That's so cool. Well, the guy who plays 23 minutes on your backhand and who was the best defenseman when you won the cup is gone now. So that's a big hole to fill, and it almost feels akin to when the Hawks lost Hossa. Not to bring it back to the Hawks like we always do, but like, you lose a player that big, that important, multiple time Stanley Cup champion, huge leadership piece. It's tough to fill that. And let's be honest, they tried to fill it with Caden Korczak and Jeremy Lauzon, and then they tried to fill it with Rasmus Anderson last minute. It's just not a good fit. I love their left side. I love Theodore. I love Hanifin. I love McNabb. I think that's such a strong left side, but their right side is just abysmal. And let's be honest, they're pretty top heavy when it comes to the goal scoring too. And there's guys not having great years. Mitch Marner's not having the best year that he could have. Jack Eichel probably could be having a better year right now than he would want. So Vegas will be interesting in the coming days. I know they're sniffing around Jordan Binnington, but like, dude, their answer this year in net was Carter Hart. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like,
bro, that's crazy. Oh, you go from recruiting Osama bin Laden to Saddam Hussein.
literally, bro. Like, I so crazy, so crazy, so crazy. And then, you know, Akira Schmid's just sitting there like, what did I do? Oh, nothing, buddy. You're getting traded. Like, oh my God, this team is just a nightmare. And you know what? It reminds me a lot of the year they got Eichel and they missed the playoffs and then just won the cup the next year. Like, you know, maybe this just happens when you make these many moves. Maybe one year the mix just doesn't work. Maybe Marner needs a whole year here. I don't know. But they clearly need to make a change. And I don't know if you make that change now, you're going to make the playoffs because you have so many fucking overtime losses. So I guess you should make a move. But also, this is a team that lacks in the prospect pool and they lack in draft capital. So I don't know what you do in that case. And the Leafs just lost again. Yeah. That's awesome.
And they won't make any moves still. Or will they? I don't know. But yeah, they're very lucky that the loser point exists because I'm pretty sure I saw some. You know, I'm just gonna look at the standings right now to confirm it. Every team in the Pacific Division, if they played in the Eastern Conference, would not be in a playoff spot right now.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked. Like, this is the parody Batman wanted, by the way. This is the parody that he wanted. But you know, this is what we got to deal with. And it's unfortunate. You got to think of some teams in the East, like Columbus, like they're going to get messed out of a playoff spot, and the Western Conference is just wide open. But it's how the cookie crumbles some years. And if you're going to complain about it, I can remember last year the East looked quite similar. So sometimes it's this year the way the league shakes, and you know it just so happens this year there's 4 teams at the bottom of the West that suck. It's just how it is. And it's 4 teams that usually aren't there outside of Chicago. But like St. Louis, Calgary, Vancouver, just sucking harder than anyone's ever sucked. And there's exactly. Like, it's just not a good conference this year. And then you have teams, and then that's just talking about the bad teams. You have so many good teams underperforming. Vegas, Edmonton, LA. All underperforming. Like, the only team I think that's performing above expectation is San Jose and Anaheim. Yeah. And then I guess Utah. But I guess Utah, like, this was always the projection. Yeah. Like, so I'm not too surprised as I am to, like, a San Jose. But there's going to be a lot of teams looking back at this year, and you missed the playoffs in this Western Conference, and you're going to be really shaking your head. Like, if you're Edmonton and you missed the playoffs this year in the West.
Oh, you need to just explode everything. Like, yeah,
serious reconstruction of the roster. Mm-hmm. Because how many times have we said this should be a cakewalk to the conference final for McDavid? And it just never
still might be, honestly.
It should be. It should be. No team in the Pacific should be able to fucking lace the Oilers' jock. But due to their goaltending, they all can. So it's tough. This conference sucks. Once again, bring it back to the Blackhawks. Man, imagine if they won half those games, this crummy team would actually be in the playoff hunt. It's crazy. They're not even crummy. They're just boring. They're just boring. That's literally what it is. Also, if you want a fun fact, the Jason Dickinson trade is attached to a 10-year trade tree. You want to know where that started? I get to read it off. Get excited. All right, so this starts in 2016. This is a pick swap with the Islanders that ended up getting us Lucas Carlson. And then you're going to have to jump all the way to 2021, where they traded Lucas, or they signed Lucas Wallmark and then traded him the next year or 2020 they signed him. 2021 they trade him for Carlson and Wallmark for Borgstrom, Riley Stillman, Brett the Jet Connolly, and a 7th round pick. That ended up being Jalen Lupin. Man, there's so many nightmares. I'm just reading some of those names. So Brett Conley, or no, Riley Stillman lasts not even 6 months on the team, 4 months on the team actually. Then gets traded for Jason Dickinson and a second round pick because if people don't remember, Jason Dickinson was a cap dump because Vancouver was just so well managed in 2022. That
They've
takes
always been
2020
well managed. We say that a lot. And
so
great
well
ownership. Never had a problem in free agency.
The best ownership. That trade tree ends up rescinding off to the one that got the Islanders Cole Eiserman and Sasha Boisvert, which then ends up going to one of the Hurricanes, which ends up getting us Merrick Van Acker at 27. This just involves a bunch of second round picks getting traded. Like I think Hawks fans know this. I don't think anyone else cares. But then obviously the Dickinson trade leads to 4 years later him getting traded for a first round pick. So at the end of the day, a fourth round pick swap turned into a first round pick. Hockey, ladies and gentlemen. Get excited.
10 years.
Yes. And somehow 2 seconds got traded in that too. So this is just the dumbest league on earth. And Stan Bowman is involved in all of it, surprisingly. So it's not just Ducky outside of Dickinson. Or was he? No, he wasn't. Yeah. Stan Bowman, hilarious GM. Should not even be GMing, but good on Kyle Davidson, as always, for dunking on that clown.
The history book on the shelf is slowly repeating itself. That's the NHL. So to get back to the original question, like the East is so much superior to the West. Like, who are to you legit cup contenders? And then we'll finally get into the trades.
And the East or the West?
Oh, I guess both.
In general. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, the three teams in the Central, obviously. Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota. Whoever comes out of that three gauntlet is going to be a problem. But also, I think those teams might beat up on each other. I know they're in a bit of a rut. Yeah. And I know they're in a bit of a rut, but Tampa's looked just dominant when they've wanted to this year. And maybe the back end holds them back, but Kucherov has literally been leaps and bounds
best player in the league. Game since the new year, hasn't he?
Oh, my fantasy team knows. Yes, he very much has been over 2 points a game, like 2.5 points a game. So I'd say they're a contender. I guess you really can't rule out Carolina, but also like, who are they going to win a Western Conference Final game? Maybe even 2. And then I feel like after that, you just kind of get to the Devil Magic teams. You know what I mean? Like, who's to say Buffalo has the Devil Magic on their side? I think Pittsburgh and New York Islanders have a plentiful amount of Devil Magic on their side. Montreal, not so much. The 3-on-3 overtime doesn't exist in the Stanley Cup playoffs, so I don't think that's going to benefit them. Boston, I do think if Boston sneaks in and they make the right moves in the next 2 days, wouldn't surprise me if they upset.
With all those first-round picks they got.
They should. You got a guaranteed top 10 pick coming from your division rival. Go reward your team.
I agree.
And then in the West, like outside of those 3 teams in the Central, like I'm gonna pick the Ducks just because I really like. To be honest, like this is about as Coach Q of a team as we've seen in a while. Like more than those Florida teams, and he won a President's Trophy with those teams. Like, but I watch the way these Ducks teams play. They play like those Hawks teams. They just play fast. Their offense first. I'm talking like the earlier Hawks teams too, because like, as the dynasty went on, they became pretty structured. But like 2010, 2011, 2009, they were just all exactly. And that's exactly what these Anaheim Ducks are right now, except they don't have Anthony Niemi in net. They have Lucas Dostal in net, who is incredible, and their back end is 6 deep. And let's put it this way. If the Ducks get out of the Pacific, they are going to, like you said, get a team out of the Central who has been through the fucking gauntlet. So I like their chances in that. But also, like, if fucking Connor McDavid and the Oilers can stop a puck, I'm picking that out of the West automatically. So, like, I'd say at the end of the day, there's like 7 teams that I could see winning the Cup. All said and done. So it would be Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Tampa, Carolina, Anaheim, and then my dark horse one would be Boston. And that's that.
That's that. And I think it's just like, for me, just looking at the easy formula, okay, who's got a good goalie, who has a top-end defenseman, and who has one top-end forward? At least one of those. Like
Boston.
Yeah, they got the goalie, they got the defenseman, and they certainly got the forward for it. If they could add another top flight center to that group, I really do like Boston.
So I was thinking about this at work today. Do you sniff around Nazem Kadri if you're the Boston Bruins?
Absolutely. Like,
And then you
I
get
know
James
that
Higgins.
I know that contract is not going to age well, but to me, if I'm Boston, like, if I don't have to give up that much, like any of my, like, if I don't have to give up a Jimmy Higgins or Letourneau or like a Minton or maybe they trade away
Okay,
Kuznetsov, but like if I don't have to trade away any of my high end guys in a first round pick, and I take on Nazem Kadri's entire salary, because I bet Kadri would 100% go to Boston. I just think that would be a hilarious outcome. 100% do it.
and I
Absolutely.
think let's just be honest, like Letourneau, none of those guys are getting traded. This is the NHL. Your top prospect does not get traded in a trade like this. It's going to be like
Man,
Matthew
yeah.
Poitras in there first, and
Yes,
I would
that's
do it
yeah,
in a
yeah, yeah.
heartbeat.
That's what it
And I
is.
do it
Yeah.
in a heartbeat, and I think that actually ends up working for Carolina because Poitras can play up immediately.
You mean Calgary?
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
I do. Yeah.
It's all the same. It's just all a blur. The deadline's a blur. We're all gonna die anyway. Shout out Devin Cooley.
Hell yeah.
Like
And
I
then
just
the
think
sun's
like
gonna engulf the earth, and then the
like
universe will have its heat death.
if you're Boston, like, do you sniff around Vincent Trocheck?
I sniff around any center. I in the video we did our mock trades, I think they should go after Rob Thomas and not of Matchbox 20 with the St. Louis Blues.
Man, Robert Thomas and David Pastrnak. Holy shit.
And
Yeah,
then
that might be a trade.
They got the
I don't know
first
how
that
you
St.
make that
Louis
trade work
won.
where Higgins isn't a part of it, though.
I would give them everyone besides, like, I would throw Fraserman in there. I would give them Letourneau. I would give them maybe Lohrei, because they've explored wanting, like, moving Lohrei. I think they wanted to move Lohrei if they got Rasmus Anderson. Yeah, if any, like, I give up anything besides Jimmy Higgins to get Robert Thomas, and ideally that's your center core going forward. And you welcome back Bergeron and Krejci. Like, that's a tidy way to get another 1-2 punch at center for another decade.
Letourneau, Lohrei, and both their first this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good start point.
I think they'd have to put Minton in there.
Probably, but also I'm trying not to trade that guy. And if you're, let's be honest, if you're Boston, from the sounds of it, you got more leverage than St. Louis at the moment, which makes zero sense because this guy's locked up for 5 years. But Doug Armstrong seems hell bent on trading him. So, but why are the St. Louis Blues being the cable people from South Park right now? Why is that a thing? Oh, I bet you'd like that trade, wouldn't you? I hope this doesn't inconvenience you that we kept you up all night because Robert Thomas is going to get traded, but he didn't. Oh no!
What seems to be the problem?
We hope this inconveniences your trade deadline plans. Oh no! Like, oh god, they're the worst. It's the worst franchise on earth. Reward them with the 6th overall pick, please and thank you.
Jarvis,
reward them with a Caleb Malhotra.
Pick.
Jarvis, give him the 5'10" French Canadian defenseman.
What is it, Xavier Villeneuve? I think that's his name. Yeah. Fit in perfectly with their other Quebecois defenseman and Logan Mailloux. Yeah. And
YouTube video clip longest wet fart ever. Oh, yeah.
Wet fart, but for 10 hours.
Okay, but on a positive note for St. Louis, I feel like Broberg and Murta could be pretty nasty. But also, like, Murta's not coming up for at least 2 more years. So that's not happening for a while. But get excited. St. Louis is going to trade everyone but Braden Shen and Pavel Buchnevich. And Justin Falk.
Was it his nickname in the draft, like Mr. Cum? Remember Eddie America? Dude, I want to make that.
You just unlocked like I blocked that out of my brain. Oh no. Yeah, that was his nickname. You're right. It's all coming back now.
because it
No
was like
one does it
Roger
like the
McQueen
NHL, gentlemen.
went to
No one does it.
Disneyland. Next pick.
Oh my
Mr.
God,
Tom.
Vegas won that game.
No way they did. They heard us.
Magic Marner
Get excited.
ties the game and gets the apple in overtime from
Let's
Rasmussen.
go. We've been saying this.
The Schmitty
Big-time
Jinx
player
is.
Mitch Marner.
Listen, Schmitty Jinx is undefeated. Mitch Marner and Rasmus Anderson each just had 3-point games after I talked shit about him not even 5 minutes ago. Not even,
We're
probably
so
like 20
welcome,
minutes ago.
Vegas.
Literally, Vegas, you're gonna, not be. You know what, Vegas? Congratulations, you beat someone in a playoff spot for the first time since like American Thanksgiving. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and like not even a good one. I think it was Utah. Like Utah is a wild card team. It's not like
you
beat
haven't
the
beaten a real
Stars or
fucking
Cavs
team.
are wild. Yeah,
But yeah, you can beat the Blackhawks in overtime. You guys are such awesome menaces. Holy smokes!
no,
Yeah,
it
what a
was shootout.
stinky. What
Or
a
it might have been an
stinker.
overtime game. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a shootout.
Do you want to get into the trades finally?
Yeah, I guess.
So Tyler Myers, I think, sat out for a week. I think it was originally reported that he was gonna go, or Detroit had an offer on the table for him, and then he decides to go to Dallas. And for as much as I praise Dallas, man, are they not particularly great at finding right-handed defensemen? Because last year,
What do you mean? Ilya Labushkin and Cody Ceci are great.
You know what? You're so right, and they definitely didn't trade a first-round pick for Niels Lundqvist. Like, it's literally,
that trade sucked.
You know that picture of Alex Jones where there's a side by side? I can't remember if he had some medicine or died. It's 45 days later. It's basically the same picture. That's
he just got a tan.
Acquiring CC and Myers at back-to-back deadlines.
At least Tyler Myers is like not the worst defenseman in the NHL. Like he did a little bit better. Like statistically, he's not the worst defenseman in the NHL.
Ceci is the worst in.
I don't know. These things called statistics and analytics back it up. I'm just talking about my ass. But
you mean not watching the game and only on graphs and Excel
hashtag not my sport.
Sheets?
Hashtag not my sport. But yeah, what else is new? Dallas needs a right-handed defenseman at the deadline. This time they get one that's built like a tree. And I hope they put him in Pixel and it makes Dallas fans want to just explode because they deserve nothing better. I love that. For as good as the gauntlet is in the Central, each team has a glaring weakness. Like Colorado, it's secondary scoring. For Minnesota, it's their center depth. And for Dallas, it's always been their right side. And maybe if Jake Ottinger has the case of the yips in the playoffs again.
Yeah,
but
Stuart Skinner in the conference final.
Don't worry, you will only have to play him in the Stanley Cup final this time, Jake. You're good. But like each of these teams have a glaring weakness, and I don't think Tyler Myers fixes this problem for them. I know they were trying to get Rasmus Anderson earlier, and they didn't succeed on that. But
try harder.
And I know I think they're sniffing around Blake Coleman. I think that's the one that's like the name out there in Dallas, which I guess like fits the Marchment role on this team that they had. But
I think.
Yeah, like so I'm curious. Wait, so like Sagan's out for the whole year. Do they get that cap space?
Yeah, they
okay. Do. This just got stupid. So. They should go get Kadri.
Oh,
load up on your strengths and make Duchesne like a third or fourth line center. Just make this stupid. Dallas should be like, and Colorado is probably the most intriguing team because I don't think they have the assets to go get anyone. So I think that's what makes this trade for Tyler Myers so intriguing. Like you get a middle, like bottom four defenseman in that case, like to fill out your pairings. And then you still have one, you got him half retained. And isn't he signed next year too? Or is it just this year?
Yeah. And to me,
so you got him 2 years.
Interesting part because they need to re-sign Jason Robertson and they need all the cap space that they can get.
Tyler Seguin just died, so not convenient.
Oh, I guess there's that too. But for no particular reason, Jason Robertson, I know, wants a lot of money. So just putting that out there.
Yeah, but how does he know that he can't get paid more than Shea Weber on the Blackhawks?
Oh, you're so right. Can't make what is What is this cap hit even? I need to look that up.
Like 7.85 because he's been getting paid that since I was like 14 years old.
For real. That's crazy that that's coming to an end.
From an offer sheet, mind you.
Yeah, 7.86. That's correct. From the Flyers, by the way.
Yep. Well, hockey war there for everyone. Yeah, Dustin Penner offer sheet. Is that the same one?
Oh, I think that was like 07, 08.
But yeah, no, I'm thinking of Dustin Penner signing in free agency. That's what I'm thinking of. Alex Kovalev. Oof. Was it the year before?
I think that's before 2012, but yeah.
No, I think it was 2000. Is it 2011? I don't know. I'm thinking of
it was before that. 2011, I think, was Brad Richards. Funny enough, because he signed with the Rangers. I don't think it was. It might have been 10. I don't know. Get away from the point, but just looking at their line combos right now, so they clearly got some injuries. Robertson, Johnson, Bork, then Steele, Duchesne, Ben. Third line, Adam Ernie. I still don't know how to say his name. Justin Hershkowian. Colin Blackwell's on the third line. Good for him. And then
Black in your well.
R2 Hiri and Nathan Bastian. Their defense is actually, because it looks like they're just playing Miro on the right side, and he can do that because he's Miro Heiskanen.
As they should.
Like Lindell, Heiskanen, Harley, Lundqvist, and then Bixel and Myers. Man, if they could just add one more defenseman, I think they'd be fine. But I guess if they have trust in Lundqvist being on the second pairing, then they're fine. And then, yeah, their goaltending is Jake Ottinger, who looks like Charlie Kirk, and then the wife beater, Casey DeSmith. Yeah. Tyler Sagan's on the IR. Mikko Rantanen's on the IR. Radek Faksa is on the IR. And so is Rupe ahead. So they'll be getting some help back for that.
Just shows how good Dallas is that they're losing Rope and Mikko for this whole week, and no one would probably know because they haven't skipped a beat. So
yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I exactly. I knew it just because I have Ranson in fantasy. But Thomas Harley has also been on a freaking heater since coming back from the Olympics. So next man up mentality, and never shows better in Dallas, but also has a new coach. Glenn Gullickson's the coach there, and it's not getting talked about enough that he is just. And I guess it's just the talent on the team, but seamless transition from Pete DeBoer.
I don't think he has to do much. Yeah.
No, you don't. But also, you got to do enough.
Fully under the bus.
Yeah, that dumbass. But yeah, they have room to get one or two more guys in there. So I'm very curious. Dallas is probably one of the teams I'm most intrigued with the next coming days because Tyler Myers is not the last of what they're doing. Like. That's not it. This is the same team that got Mikko Rantanen last year. Like, they're not afraid to take the big swing, and we've given Jim Nill credit on that time and time again. Who knows what the big swing is this time? But, hear me out. Is at the Adam Fox destination this offseason?
That would be
for Robertson.
They would have to trade Robertson.
Well, obviously, that's how the trade starts.
Here's how I think it would go. If there was let's get crazy here. Let's go full
silly season. Let's go.
The Rangers want to rebuild, and the Hawks want to get their star winger, and the Dallas Stars just want to load up on their defense. And call me crazy, is that not the best top four in the NHL? If you were able to have Heiskanen, Fox, Harley, and Lindell, if not,
it's the best top four in hockey, and it's not even close. Mm-hmm. It's not even close. That top pair is the best top pair the NHL's ever seen. It's up there.
In theory,
modern day, it's better than Taves and Makar in terms of star power. Yeah. It's better. Yeah. And that's saying something. And we've seen Chara McAvoy in terms of star power at one point, and that's not going to touch this. This speaks volumes. I don't know. That's 2 top 5 defensemen playing on a defensive pairing if that happens. And then that doesn't even account for their forward core being 9 forwards deep constantly, led by Mikko Rantanen, who's just a fucking phenom. That team would be disgusting. And I think there's a world where New York would be interested in Jason Robertson, and Jason Robertson would be interested in New York because New York would just give him a fucking bag. So.
We'll see. I'm I want to do a 3-way trade, where Robertson somehow ends up in Chicago and Fox is in Dallas, and then New York just gets draft picks and prospects. That's what I was trying to go for, but yeah.
Kyle Davidson, if he can sneak his way into one more big trade. That's making you to do that.
No, that's what I was trying to do from the start. I'm like, there's gotta trade Jason Robertson, and like if Jason Robertson's on the table for the Hawks, I trade just about anything that's not Connor Bedard. Like he's that good.
So like, what would the Rangers get?
Honestly, like name it. Like take this check, write however much money on it. Like take a Lamborghini, get a private jet. That's what I would do with Jason Robertson. That's how highly I think.
Get him a big mystery box.
Yeah, could be a boat in there.
It could be 2 Jason Robertsons.
Get a yacht. It could be 2 Jason Robertsons. It could be Nick Robertson.
Oh, God, that's more likely. Hey, we're just being realistic here about the mystery box. But don't look at those odds in the corner. No. You can't read those anyway. You don't have good eyesight. Get away from that.
I just wanted to go on a rant earlier about the Hawks, like with those first. Oh man, I wish they just make a big swing, but I don't think it's not happening. I'm trying to temper myself and not expect anything to happen. Always bet on nothing.
Always bet on nothing, Pierce. That's why I was trying to get. That's why I'm trying to open your mind to them not doing.
You did a good job because you did a good job of like. Cause usually it's me having to do that, but in this case it's you talking me down. Because I wanted to be like, cool, you got another first round pick. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to flip one of those first and get a good player. I still think you should do that.
Do it. Yeah. I just know he's not going to fucking do it. So I'm going to try to be optimistic about what we're going to deal with. And at least he's going to have a fucking answer this year that he's going to have to do something if they don't, the kids can't hang. Or if the kids need maybe, I don't know, a Nos added to the roster like the Hawks did with Hossa. Except our Nos is going to be, I don't even know.
Nikita Kucherov.
The Canadian on Columbus. Yeah, Nikita Kucherov.
Mark Stone is going to come from Vegas, and I think it's 2020.
He's going to play 10 games, and then he's going to retire.
Yeah.
He's going to hurt his finger.
Kid named Finger.
Kid named Jeff.
Kid named Jeff. That is a mythical poll. I'm pretty sure Jeff Finger was like his free agent's contract was predicted on like HF boards by like
yep, because the guy saw his neighbor saw him move in or some shit.
I think that's who Jeff Finger was by
is it Anthony Petrelli? Was it him way back in the day? I don't even know who.
No, I think it was Hockey Eklund rumors. Do you remember that? I don't know if he still has a Twitter account or is active, but he was like the original smart insider man. I think that's how.
Bro, can we get Eklund back? I need a 5 on the Eklunds. What the fuck was this?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Bro, we need the OG.
This is what we're talking about. When we crap on insiders today, it's one because they're not good at their job right now. It's just a plain old fact. We still don't know the Colton Parayko trade's gone through. They tried to announce that shit at 2:00. It is 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now.
Dude, that's a whole
so it is valid criticism.
That's a day
it is valid criticism, but also like we used to just have some guys. Like we still do. Like Jim Madison is still here, but like just some of the stuff.
In all fairness, there was a tweet from him a couple of days ago where he said Mangiapane out of the lineup, trade coming soon.
Listen, don't ever say he's lost his fastball.
No, he's throwing fuzz.
Jim Matheson predicted this.
He did have the makings of a varsity insider.
NHL by Matty Moto over here predicted it. Oh my gosh. No, but it's just like you don't get the Eklunds anymore. You just get Frank Saravalli having a rage piss fit and Dreger crapping his pants on Twitter because someone dared guess an injury. Like, I'm sorry. And then Freed's just tweeting into the ether some bullshit and then going away for 2 hours. Like, this is just what we deal with now. Before it was just like LeBron would just drop the trade. Like, there's a reason it's iconic. Hall for Larson. The trade is was the Hall one that he said that, or was it the Subban?
Yeah, it was Hall for Larson, 1-for-1, and that was it.
That's all he had to fucking say. That's one fucking tweet.
The world you
And
grew
it
up
broke
in
the
no
internet.
longer exists. Bob McKenzie.
It's the best day in hockey. It's the best day in hockey Twitter history. I'll die on that hill. Like,
remember
in a span of 30 minutes, all that happened. Like, I was getting Chipotle and all that shit happened. I remember where I was.
Yeah.
Because I got in the car, the first trade happened. I get to the restaurant, the Subban trade happens. I get my food, Stamkos gets extended. Oh, what
You're
a
like,
fun time.
that's not as.
And then nowadays
him
it's
going
just,
to free
well,
agency.
we don't know if the trade clause will set that way, but this is going to happen.
Cole
if it
Smith
does.
is going to Tampa Bay. Oh no, actually, he's going to Vegas.
God, he sucks. How do you get the Cole Smith trade wrong? Like, how is that? Like,
that's why they won. They got the Cole Smith effect in Vegas.
Joe, he's already doing his job. Let's go. I gotta see if he played tonight.
He did, I'm pretty sure. This is what matters, not Mackenzie Weegar going to Utah. How many minutes did Cole Smith play tonight?
Mackenzie Weegar. We're gonna get into it though.
Bro, we're going to
look at
really
Cole
matter.
Smith played hockey today. He played 15 minutes. Am I reading that correctly? What?
Oh, he played like a quarter of the game.
Why is he playing 15 minutes?
I need to know who his common line mates were. Is he playing with Magic Mitchie Marner?
Oh man, I hope so. We're going daily.
Is Cole Smith the Mitch Marner whisperer?
Oh god,
that he's seen it all.
Is he the new Dennis Malgin? My column.
Oh my god, Dennis Malgin.
Who is he playing with? Playing with Keegan Colasar and Colton Sissons. Oh baby, spicy.
Couple of Nashville Predator legends right there.
Also, Mitch Marner's playing center.
Yeah, they've been playing him for center for a while. Yeah.
Welcome back, London Knights. Guess when he just wears 93, it's just put me in the middle. Yeah, this team sucks. They're so mid on paper, and it reflects on the ice.
What do you mean Braden Bowman on the first line right wing is not enough? What do you
Braden Bowman played 18 minutes tonight.
What do you mean Cole Reinhardt on the third line is mid?
Who the fuck is that? Like, who? This is getting out of hand. Now there are 3 of them. We just killed Griffin. Now they resurrect him as a different one. What the fuck?
And then they add a D to his last name. That's crazy.
You don't need to know that part.
It's like Peter when he's writing over Meg's birth certificate. Instead of Megan, he just puts Megatron. Robots in disguise.
Yeah, this team sucks. Colton's like the fourth line played 15 minutes tonight. Gross. Fireball. Bruce Cassidy. What are we doing?
Bruce Cassidy, whatever happened there. Kenzie Weegar got traded to Utah. That makes me laugh so much. That's like that. Whenever I hear Quasimodo predicted all this, and then also blank your brother Billy. Whatever happened there? Whatever happened there? Whatever. Just incredible rage bait, and same with you never had the makings of a varsity athlete. Oh, come on.
Oh. It's like bringing up Tanner Jeannot to Rose. It's fucking automatic. Oh, shout out the GOAT. Anyways. Yes, Mackenzie Weegar to Utah. We'll finally get to it after an hour and 45 minutes.
Almost 2 hours.
I just want to point out with the Mackenzie Weegar trade, the most interesting part, one, the people who thought TJ Gillen was going the other way, like seriously thought
I
that.
didn't think it was going to happen. I was just
like,
no.
Cool. Like people said it jokingly, but some people thought it literally, and I think that's a little concerning. This is the NHL. This never happens.
People thought Oliver Moore was going to go back in that trade.
Like, what are we talking about? Like, the fact that even got traction is a problem. But I digress. If I recall correctly, these are 3 2026 seconds. Am I not reading that wrong?
Yeah, they're all 2026, I believe.
Man, so like Kyle Davidson. If you want to see what you can do with a plethora of second-round picks, I'm not saying Mackenzie Weegar is what you should go do, but like, I think the point, not to bring it back to the Hawks game, but like, the trades they made this week, you can do what they're doing this year in like a year or two because you have the capital to go do that. Like Utah didn't need to have all these picks. This is them accumulating them over years. And now they get to use them because they're making a playoff push, and they didn't have to use their first round pick to get a stud defensive defenseman.
And they
Who
still
knows?
have all their
Probably
top
doesn't.
prospects.
Exactly. Still have Lamoureux, still have Boot, still have fucking TJ Ginla, still have Caleb Denoye, and you still have all your good players on the roster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But sorry, you're right. I forgot about him. He's another first round pick. But Utah's in a very good spot. They have all the cap space in the world, and if we're being honest, you could probably still go big game hunting if you really want to. And my only concern is like Mackenzie Weegar's got 5 more years left. So he's 32. He blocks a lot of shots. Those are hard miles. I know Utah hasn't lived through this, but Arizona kind of lived through this with Nicholas Hjalmarsson picking a defensive defenseman up at the wrong time. But I get where they're coming from this time. I think he's like the perfect defensive partner for a guy like Sergachev. So can't help but be excited if you're a Utah fan, especially for this year. But
absolutely,
looking towards the future, it will be a little concerning. I do think it's interesting that Craig Conroy went with all quantity over quality.
Oh, he went quantity over quality, yeah.
And I think we need to have a conversation about Craig Conroy and some of the returns he's gotten on these trades, because I don't think he's had a single trade where I can definitively say he won that trade. And I guess you can't for teams like this. Like, I guess, like, who knows? There are 3 seconds. It could be one of them could be the next Nikita Kucherov. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know that.
We could do the same logic for the Blackhawks. Like,
exactly. But it's just, at least with the Hawks, they were getting the ones. You know what I mean? They were getting the first round picks. They were getting plausible names or something of that nature. But like, how many first round picks has Craig Conroy acquired?
No, not enough.
1, 2,
for me to know.
Maybe.
Like,
yeah, like it's, and I don't think he's acquired a single top 5 prospect. I'm not even going to go top 3. Like,
okay, they
only
do have
Mata
2
being
first this year and next year. They have 4 seconds this year, but I think that's all from the trade. So that's a good start. That's a very good
start. But also, I don't know. Like, you better have something up your sleeve with Kadri. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I don't think Coleman can get you a first in this. Well, I mean, shit, he might in this market.
I think,
but
he can, personally,
yeah, with the playoff pedigree too. But like, man, Kadri can get that. You can get that 3rd first round pick. I think you're sitting in a really good spot because, like, I think they had a good draft last year. You know, Cole Potter, I think, was an underrated pick by them. I don't know if it's had this year or the year before. What was this year? Right?
No, it was last year, and they got Reshny as well. So
yeah, I like Reshny too. You know, they just need more guys. Like, they're in a Blackhawk spot that they were a couple years ago. You need to get more bodies in the system. So I guess in that perspective, getting 3 seconds helps with that. But definitely interesting. And you get rid of Weegar's contract. Weegar was definitely never going to fit this timeline. But that's a guy who, it's kind of crazy though, because that's a guy who loved being in Calgary. So you lose him and Anderson in 1 year. That back end looks so much worse now. Room for Parekh now. Parek's going to get minutes to end this year, so you'll see what you have with him. But I know this year hasn't been the best because he's been bounced around a little bit. So hopefully get more consistency back there, and you know, some of these prospects that you traded for move up, and you got White Cloud and Mata as a little bit defensive presence.
I think they're going to keep White Cloud.
Well, yeah, he's locked up. I mean, he's still on that 8-year deal that he signed pre-COVID, I want to say. So, maybe post-COVID. I'm not sure. But I just remember he signed an 8-year deal. Like
long contract. Yeah.
It's a long contract, yes. Yeah, hopefully Calgary can hit on some of these draft picks. And, you know, if any team, like if I had to have any team get Gavin McKenna, if it wasn't the Hawks, it's got to be Calgary. I really don't want to see him on the Rangers. I don't want to see him on the Canucks, and I definitely don't want to see him on the Blues. But if the Flames got him or Stenberg, I think that just changes the whole trajectory. Hell, even if they get a Bierhoff and you have Bierhoff, Parekh on your right side, that's a good starting point. Like, and Calgary's in the position to do that. Or you get the Malhotra kid, or you get Tyden Lawrence. Like, they're going to get a really good prospect to put in this pool for the first time in a long time. Since Matthew Tkachuk, probably.
Tkachuk, yep.
Yeah. 100%. And they're going to have a higher position than they had when they got him. So I think Calgary fans should be excited. Now that I've kind of talked myself into kind of liking this trade a little bit, like looking at their perspective, like 3 seconds makes more sense than getting a first 2 years from now. I do think that in that perspective, that makes sense. And also, like, we see what the Hawks do with seconds all the time at the draft. You can trade right back up into the first round because some team doesn't know who they want and they want more kicks at the can. Like, I think it was a fair trade on both sides. If I'm, and you know what? Credit to Conroy. He kind of took the Davidson approach. I want to pick my prospects. I'm not going to get other people's prospects to develop. Davidson took the same approach. Mike Greer took the same approach to an extent. So I understand that thought process as well.
By the way, that Zach Whitecloud contract was signed back in 2021. So yeah, October.
I'm telling you, man, we're going on what, year 6 of that contract next year? Oh,
yeah, crazy. It'll be year 5 next year. He'll be a UFA in 2028.
Yeah, the 8-year contracts aren't real. Seth Jones is signed until 2030. Elias Pettersson is signed until 2032. Like,
oof, my own.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Where are you at with Elias Pettersson now? Because for a while, man, like if I would love like a Pettersson, like if Pettersson can get back to where he was, obviously, but to me, that almost seems like another Seth Jones situation where the Blackhawks are on the up and up as opposed to 2021 when they were clear on the down, but I just think the Hawks are still a couple years away, and I just wonder if Pettersson gets there and like, this is not what I wanted, and then you got $11.6 million on your cap ledger. So
it's got way more like, yeah.
I was gonna say, like, he would have to force his way there, and Blackhawks give up minimal because they can take on. They are one of the few teams in the NHL that can take on that contract, but I don't know if I right at this moment would want to pay the assets for Pettersson. Well, definitely what Vancouver would want for Pettersson.
I don't. And I don't think, I think there's more of a likelihood that ends up being a Huberdeau-esque contract than him regaining his form and you looking like a genius. And I just think, I guess another reason I'm kind of leaning towards just run it with the kids next year, because there's a world where they get Pettersson, and then there's a world where a guy like Nick Largus isn't in the top 9, and we're sitting there like, what the hell are we doing? Like, this guy's not getting the development that he's going to need as a goal scorer because we got to give it to a guy who didn't take a shot in his last 3 games. That's a fact. That's what happened this week for the Canucks. Like, this guy has lost all confidence, and, he's run out of fingers to point, besides that himself. I don't think the Hawks are in a position to take that risk. I guess they are. Like, they can afford to take that risk because at the end of the day, you'll probably buy him out. But, like, the last thing you want to do, and, like, this is where probably Davidson's thinking, but you can't think this far ahead, but with a contract like this, you have to. Let's say it's 2028, 2029. Let's say you picked, like, 6 and you got, like, Tynan Lawrence. Like, he'll be up for an extension. Rondell and Kanserov looks like they're not going to be cheap if they're as good as projected. But I guess
that's what you want to happen.
Exactly. And that's what you want to happen. The last thing you want is to not be able to sign a Roman Kanserov because you have to pay a Pettersson 11.6 and you ran out of money. And now he's got a no move and he's not going to move it again. And you're either going to have to buy him out or he's just going to take up a spot and you're going to have to trade a young player because you don't have room for him. So I get where Davidson's coming from that perspective. Plus, he's 28, or is he 26? How old? I'm pretty sure he's 28. Isn't he?
He'll be 28 later this year. I think he's late 98.
That's like right at the cutoff of what I don't want on this team right now, unfortunately. And like, who knows? Maybe he would come to the Hawks and be a 100-point player. I don't have the crystal ball to see that, and I don't want to risk the assets right now, nor the development roster spots to take that gamble at the moment. Now, let's say he's coming off a 70-point season next year and the kids look like they need an extra step. Yeah, we can have that conversation. I just don't think this is the time. This isn't the time.
Right
now, for a team like Detroit, I think you take that swing. I think Detroit takes that. You should take that swing. I think Carolina, if you can't get it done this year, you have to take that swing. So other teams can. Fucking LA can take that swing if they want to.
Dude,
they probably would.
Could you imagine?
I don't think they want to take that risk, though. They got a lot of money locked up in some top guys.
They do,
Like,
yeah. Let's they can somehow load off Lindholm.
I don't think San Jose would. They already kicked the can on Sherwood. Seattle?
Yeah. Oh,
I think Seattle actually would take that risk.
Because Vancouver will want Shane Wright back. Now we're cooking.
And I think they do that. Like, let's say it's pick 17 and Shane Wright.
Yeah.
I think that's something that could happen. Oh, Pettersson doesn't want to go there, though.
That is Pacific. Yeah, and maybe that too. But yeah,
he's got to no move. Like, this is the problem. Like, Vancouver has no one to blame but themselves with Pettersson. They could have moved him a year ago, and they did the same shit that the Leafs did with Marner. And I hate when teams are like, "Oh, woe is me when I didn't trade a guy before his new move kicked in." Sorry, you should have had a killer instinct when you had the chance. Now you just made your job 10 times harder, and it's self-inflicted. Like, sorry, you pushed off. Like, what does Dangle say? You pushed off your homework till the end. Like, you don't get to cry about it. Do your homework early next time you don't have the situation. You know, Dale Talon learned this lesson once upon a time when he forgot to fucking put contracts in a fax machine. Like, I don't have sympathy for this shit. Like, yeah. Sorry.
What's the thing? Me reaping, yay, me sowing. Aw. Not so fun true, now, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the trade that still has not gone through. Actually, I want to touch more on the Mackenzie Weegar trade because I just want to go through their lines right now. So their forwards, they got Keller, Schmaltz, Gunther. Second line's Peterka, Cooley, Krause. Third line, McBain, Hayton, Yamamoto. And your fourth line is Alexander Kerfoot, Kevin Stenlund, Michael Carcone. And their defense is very veteran now. You got Sergachev, Durzi, Cole, Weegar, Nate Schmidt, and John Marino. And then your goaltending is Vimilka and Vanacek. They're very well set, and they still have guys in the system. Like, that's where I want the Hawks to be in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because like you look at their bottom six and it's like, oh, the bottom six isn't that impressive. But then you look in like a year, it could be like Denoye and TJ Ginla, and it's just like, oh, okay, oh, actually, it looks a lot better. Wow, okay. And then on the back end, it's like, oh, some guys are getting older. Let's add in a more polished Maverick Lamoureux.
Yeah,
and Simashev, man, like they got guys coming, and Vimilka getting better every year is such a good sign. They're in a good spot. And that's probably why they're entertaining a Robert Thomas right now. That's why they just entertained a Mackenzie Weegar. And good on them because they have an owner that's okay to do it now. Like, this isn't something Arizona would have ever done. Now they have Ryan Smith, who's the owner of the Utah Jazz and the Utah Mammoth. He wants to see a championship. He wants to win. He makes winning moves. He's not afraid to make a move. He's not afraid to spend money to make a move. So if you're a Utah fan, I can't help but think you're so happy about this.
He wants to go beyond that. He wants to make the sport of hockey known in Utah, because I don't think it's the most popular sport there right now, but it can work its way up quickly with how they are, like how they're running the team and how they're spending their money with it.
Yeah, I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. And I know like they're basically kind of you're building a fan base from the ground up to an extent, and you got to do it in a certain way, and what better way to do it than play some exciting hockey and get a deep playoff run going? And they're all locked up. So,
except for Schmaltz, but I mean, with how everything's gone, you might just extend there.
Always bet on nothing.
Always bet on nothing changing, at least.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this hasn't changed yet. We still don't know if the Cold Parayko trade has gone through, and I wonder at this point if it ever is going to go through, because I think this tweet from Jeremy Rutherford, who is very locked in with the Blues, I think it's from a few hours ago. Yeah, this is from like 2.5 hours ago. At this moment, to my knowledge, there's been no official decision from Parayko about waiving his no-trade clause to Buffalo. The Blues are playing in Seattle tonight and have made their way to the Climate Pledge Arena for their game against the Kraken. Parayko, who's been out of the lineup with back spasms, was not scheduled to play anyway. He remains at the team hotel. So, yeah, he's probably sitting there pondering. Maybe he's watching, some Family Guy on the TV. You get there and usually...
Nothing clears the mind better than Hotel Family Guy to make a life-changing decision.
Dude, it's like the AC in the hotel room and Family Guy on the TV just hits different than everywhere else. Or in our case, Spider-Man 3 playing in the hotel room and Toy Story 2.
Facts.
The greatest sequel.
For you guys, I work alone. Sorry, I'm thinking of Buzz Lightyear, the movie. It's another good movie. Anyways.
Bro, we need to do a Toy Story 5 review when it comes out.
Let's go!
Wait, hold up. When does Toy Story 5 come out? What's the exact date? Is it sometime in June?
Yeah, I hope it's out before end of June.
I was gonna say we should totally see Toy Story 5 if we.
Oh, I'm down. I'm so down.
Because it is June 19th, and that is a week before.
Oh my god, it's coming out on Juneteenth. That's so iconic.
Just like how we were supposed to see the Minions Rise of Gru in Montreal, but that never
happened. Oh, be taken back to the Minions Rise of Gru hype. No one will ever understand
Crazy.
The hype of something we never saw. Oh, the Grudiverse is growing every day.
So Rodney Murtka and a first round pick. What do we, if this trade does go through, what do we think of that that haul for St. Louis and what Buffalo gave up?
For St. Louis, I mean, you get exactly what you want, which is a first round pick, and you get a tall, hulking right-handed defenseman to replace Parayko in your prospect pool. And then for Buffalo, you get a perfect defenseman to fit in that top four. I mean, the fact that your top four is going to be Dahlin, Samuelson, and then Power and Parayko, and then you're going to have Byram, and when you're healthy, it'll be Kesselring. It's about as good of a top six as you're going to see. And then coupled with that, you didn't lose any forwards on your roster, which I know was a concern if they were exactly nothing off the current roster. And Murta, they just drafted him this year. He's 6'8". He's huge.
He's a big boy. Yeah,
he's a big boy. But he's a big boy that wasn't going to be in the NHL for 2 years, and hopefully he waives it because no fan base deserves it more than Buffalo to have their team buy. I was kind of hoping it was going to be Ristolainen at one point, just because I think it would be hysterical.
That would be funny.
But God, he really changes that top four. And I know he's older, but he brings a veteran presence to that blue line that I don't think they have in terms of star talent and guys who have been there and have won a Stanley Cup.
Champion, Olympian.
So is Byram, I guess.
Much to my chagrin, and also play at the Four Nations. Like he's got the big game pedigree.
Big time. And, that you couple that with, Tage Thompson coming off the gold medal. And, you look at some of the guys the fact that they have arguably won the Peterka trade in hindsight is crazy just because of Josh Jones' impact and everything. Exactly. It's nuts. Like credit to, and Kevin Adams isn't here anymore, but Jarmo's first big move to buy is kind of, that deserves a laugh for Kevin Adams. He's just like,
Dude,
all this work I did.
Fucking hated him. Holy,
yeah, they must have hated
just
him.
A cancerous mole removed from that organization.
Holy shit! But they're a wagon. They're a wagon, and it's it's the conflict of, do you want to take away from the wagon? Do you want to add to it and potentially mess up the balance? Like, this is always the talk when you have a team this hot. We've seen it time and time again. Teams can be white hot and they get a trade deadline acquisition and never really clicks and they're out in the first round. Like, this happens all the time. I think of Rick Nash going to Boston back in the day. Like, that's immediately what I think of. And that worked out so well. But you got to take the swings. And I think this is a good swing for Buffalo. And like you said, can't ask for more pedigree in that locker room right now.
I just think I'll make it about the Blue Jays. I remember because they ran so much on vibes and the power of friendship. They were legitimately Jays fans before the deadline last year. They were like, we don't need to make any moves. Let's just go on the power of friendship. And they made a couple moves. They added Shane Bieber from Cleveland. They got a couple bullpen arms. And like, especially in the case of baseball, when a lot of the bullpen arms aren't interacting with most of the players anyways, like I don't think you could ruin team chemistry that way. But yeah, there are people complaining about that, but them upgrading their pitching almost got them a World Series. So yeah, just from that experience, I think you should upgrade. And even if people are like, oh, we just got to ride the power of friendship, you can do that and add. Just get good people, I guess. And good.
Yeah, people. And use them properly.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ivan Barbashev got added and they won a cup. So,
mm-hmm.
Or Turi Lehkonen, to name a few.
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to add Barry Trotz getting a second for McCarron. We kind of talked about it, and then a third for Cole Smith.
Trotz Barrel going out swinging. Go get that first from Ryan O'Reilly, but no, you have a handshake agreement out to trade him, even though he doesn't have a no move. Like this league is so dumb.
Crazy.
You're retiring. Like just break the relationship. You're never gonna talk to him again. Like just whatever.
Just be like, I'm doing you a favor and send you to.
I'm doing you a fucking favor, and I'm sending you back to Toronto.
No, you would not. No. Crazy.
Oh my god! Could you imagine they trade for O'Reilly? He gets there. First of all, no one's gonna want him there because they want the team to suck.
Who want me? No one doesn't want to be
there. I think we'd actually see someone hold out on his trade if that happened. I think he'd be like, "I'm not getting on the plane." Like, this won't happen.
You would just not report.
No, but like you're telling me with a straight face, if Seattle offered you a first round pick for Ryan O'Reilly right now, they'd be like, "We can't do bad by him, though."
What if he doesn't want to go to Seattle? Huh?
Well, what if he didn't have a no move clause? Like Steve said it best. Like this is not him and the AG. You're like, I don't have to abide by a hand. Like if it's not in a contract, I'm sorry. Like this is how business works. Like someone said it best. Like people in this sport, like they're not human. They don't have a like. It's just what it is. Like Mike McDonald had no emotion towards his son after winning the Super Bowl. Like these guys are psychopaths. The sooner you accept that, the better the reality is. And the second you try to be human in a sport that isn't fucking built to be human, like that job is built for you to be a fucking robot. Plain and simple. Like, yeah, you're supposed to have relationships, but like you're supposed to be a fucking robot and make decisions to make the team better. And you're telling me a guy that could easily fetch you a first and a prospect. Easily. That's just me like spitballing, not even naming teams. And you're just like, no, we can't do it. You know, we made a decision that he's why I signed here, but we didn't give him a no move because he didn't want that big NMC next to him on Puckpedia. Like,
if it ain't written in ink, too bad. That stinks. Ha!
Thank you. Thank you.
Put it on your pipe and smoke it.
No, put it in your fucking career 70 million earnings and then go win a cup and then cry about it into the cup. I heard it's big enough to fill a lot of tears. Like, just there's some losers in this league. And that guy won a cup and a Conn Smythe. Like, I guess, cool, you won. You just don't care anymore. That's fine. I don't agree, but that's fine. What do I know? I'm just a lot of players that
went to Nashville did that. They won, made their money, and they don't care, and they just want to live in Nashville.
Matt Duchene for like 3 years. He never won a cup.
Yeah. And then Stamkos, and then Marsh or so. Yeah. I was saying that Nashville would be an interesting team going to the deadline because I thought they could maybe move some of their big guys, but they're doing more of the little stuff, which I think they should be doing anyways. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be fireworks in Nashville. I don't think they're going to trade Ryan O'Reilly.
There's never going to be fireworks in Nashville. They don't draft for fireworks. Like, you had a chance to get Jimmy Higgins, and you were like, Brady Martin.
No, what if I get
and like Sam pull Bennett? The Kirby Doc and let the world know it was going to be Brady Martin before you even picked him. Hours prior. Like, ugh. You guys.
Oh, was that a thing? I don't remember.
I swear there was something that came out like that like the day of Nashville, Brady Martin was on the radar. That came out before the draft even started. I remember reading that multiple spots, and because like people kind of knew how the top four was going to shake. The big thing was just like, is it Denoye or Frondell, and then is it fucking blah blah blah? You know what I mean? But there was no sign of them taking Higgins, and from everything I read,
or even Martone. Yeah.
Yep. So like when you don't have high end talent, you have no one to blame but yourself. And they've been doing this for years.
Brady Martin works on a farm, and he's strong, and he's big.
It's just crazy because there's an alternate reality where Philip Forsberg got traded like 3 years ago to the Kings, to LA, got a haul, and they blew it up. And they probably got a top 3 pick in the year that they probably could have got a really fucking good center.
In Nashville?
But no. Power of friendship at the U2 concert. Fuck their team up for the next 3 years and more.
I'm pretty sure Kiefer Sherwood was on that team, and now he has gotten a bag in San Jose.
And he got out of there because he knew what was going on. Yeah, you're right, Pierce. It's the retirement home.
Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, if you're gonna retire, if you won, I was gonna say, if you won your cup and made your money, you can do a lot worse than Nashville. I can say that much. And to bring it back to Blackhawks fans complaining about everything and complaining about Ryan Donato, San Jose giving Kiefer Sherwood more money than what Ryan Donato has gotten, when Ryan Donato has more of a track record, and Kiefer Sherwood is a year older, by the way. So, I mean, congrats to Kiefer Sherwood. What a way to, so he turns 31 at the end of the month. Yeah, undrafted. Didn't play an NHL game till 2018-19 when he was like 23, 24. Went through a bunch of different teams. Played a little bit in Anaheim, Colorado. Did put up 75 points in 57 games. Was in Colorado the year they won a cup. He didn't play any playoff games, but I wonder if he maybe got a ring. I don't know. And then, 22-23 played in Nashville. Same with 23-24. Had 1 goal in 6 playoff games. And then he went to Vancouver, had a career year there, 40 points in 78 games. And then now has had another great year in San Jose, or he was in Vancouver and then got traded to San Jose. And now he's got the bag now, 5 years at 5.75.
It's a great story, and it's always great to see the NHL because I feel like every couple times a year you get something like this, and like you look back to like Brandon Hagel and just like the fact that he was 7th round pick, cut, signed by the Blackhawks, and within 2 years he's making 6.5 times 8.
Like, he's a friggin' Olympian.
Yeah, and he's a point a game player 3 years in a row. Like, it's just, some of these guys are really late bloomers and they get a strong work ethic because they had to work for it through multiple leagues. And they always had the high-end talent. Like, I don't know, man. It shows. Not everyone develops at the same curve. And, obviously, it's not like there was one team patient with him, but hard work pays off. It's one of the better stories of the year, honestly, in terms of, a guy that, like you said, undrafted and had to earn his way to get here.
I do find it funny because I think it was a couple of days beforehand. I think it was Xing Peng, who does a great job of covering the Sharks, that they might have explored trading, like flipping Kiefer Sherwood, and then a couple of days later they come to terms on a contract. It reminds me of that Family Guy scene where they walk up to Peter and Quagmire's like, "I'm not going to join your team," and then Peter's like, "I'm making a team. Want to join? Sure." And every season, but yeah. Speaking of which, that comes out in a month. But no, congrats to Kiefer Sherwood for getting the bag. I mean, I'm personally glad it wasn't my team who paid that, and it makes me feel better about Ryan Donato's contract. Not that I ever really felt bad about it anyways, but yeah, anyone complaining about that, that's kind of how I view it. Just a late bloomer getting the bag, having a couple career years.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a good story.
All right. We've been going on long enough. We've gone over almost 2.5 hours now. We're at 2 hours and 16 minutes. Do you have anything else you want to touch on, or we can wrap this up? I think we've covered enough.
No, we can wrap it up. We'll be recording next week, and the St. Louis trade will still be pending, so it'll be great.
Oh my God. Yeah, we'll find out before the playoffs. Oh yeah, Colton Parayko's gonna be joining the Sabres playoff roster. He finally agreed. He's like, I need
Those
to see
back
Buffalo.
spasms. They had to get the
Playoffs.
medicals. They had to get the medicals.
Yeah, pending a physical. Yeah, he wanted to wait till they actually made the playoffs before he made his mind up. He's like, okay, I'll go now. I go now. All right. So if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google, Amazon, or whichever, be sure to give us a 5-star rating. If you're watching our beautiful faces on YouTube, be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content. So yeah, for Pierce and Dylan, take it easy, y'all. Can't wait till a few more trades are announced right as we end this, and then the Parayko trades announced and all that. So yeah, you're welcome. So for Pierce and Dylan, take it easy, and we will talk another time, probably outside the trade after the trade deadline. Peace out.